Hey there, guys. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? And welcome to the 3-year anniversary stream for 5 years later. My name is Hershey, and I will be one of your hosts for this evening. And for the past 3 years, I have been a story consultant for 5 years later. This role has had me take part in everything between working on certain story elements, character design, and even fight and choreography sometimes. I'm joined here with both OR Ash and Fro the Bro. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Fro, you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. What's going on, everybody? It's your bro, Fro, the bro with the fro. And I essentially, because of the success of 5 years later, it has gave me an opportunity to actually become a part of the ink tank to take care of, to mainly work on our second channel, the Rust Bucket, doing the streaming aspects of it with Photoshop on Saturdays and the Off Script podcast on Sundays. And I'm very grateful to be a part of this conglomerate that we have. It's just amazing. I'm truly grateful for everything that 5 years later has brought to me in my life.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you, man. What about you, OR Ash?
Well, I'm OR Ash. If you guys watch the Rust Bucket at all, you already know me. I draw on there all the time. I am a concept artist and content creator for the Ink Tank. As you can see, I'm drawing Danny Phantom on the screen currently. I do different concept as well as additional art assets for the comic. I also help with story consulting and writing and stuff like that. I also work on, or I script and make art assets for various videos as well as our animated micro documentary series and beyond.
So he's got a lot going on there. OR Ash provides a lot to 5 years later there. Ever since he came on board, it's just been a treat to be able to work with him and see the amazing artwork that he's able to supply. And we all get to enjoy it. So very thankful for that. But I do want to take this to the side and say that it is also the 16th anniversary for Danny Phantom as well. We got an awesome Danny on the screen right there, courtesy of OR Ash. So very thankful for Butch Hartman and the team behind Danny Phantom for the time that it did run. There was definitely something else than we were able to see on TV at the time. So along with Ben 10, we are definitely thankful for that and 5YO. So yes, I'm going to break down exactly what we're going to be doing today in this live stream. So we actually have a lot today. It's going to be pretty awesome. We're going to be going over the legacy of 5YL and the other projects that is led to, like And Beyond. We will be having an entire art style breakdown by the Kuro, the artist, for actually all current chapters of 5YL. So that should be a treat there. We have a special guest today. That will be Kellen Goff. We will be having an interview with him. Kellen has provided the voices from characters such as Overhaul from My Hero Academia, Funtime Freddy from Five Nights at Freddy, and recently Fiddlesticks from League of Legends. The guy's pretty talented. So very looking forward to that. But I'm just glad that everyone's here today. Thank you for joining us, and I'm looking forward to a great show. Yes. Alrighty. We also have a raffle today. So we're having another raffle. As tradition, we have created another anniversary poster. This one was illustrated by Ash. There are 2 anniversary posters this time. One is themed around Danny, and one is themed around Ben. Using the donation link below, it says donation next to it. It's $3 per entry, and we will be selecting 2 winners at the end of the stream. The first winner gets to choose which poster they want first, so good luck. There's no limit to how many times you can donate or how many entries you can have. So the more entries, the better chance you'll have to win. The posters are really awesome. Thank you so much, Ash, for busting those out. Because that is great, and anyone who's going to be able to get those is going to be very lucky.
Oh yeah,
which they also look amazing.
These are not the finalized versions of it. There are still some assets missing. I've been working on them for about the last 8.5 to 9 hours, trying to get them done. So to the winner, it's going to have additional stuff on it. So that's a little extra surprise for you later on.
Oh yeah, you think it looks good now?
Oh
Wait till
yeah.
later on.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Also here's a shout out to Promsien for the thumbnail art. Kuro recently commissioned them. It's amazing art. Thank you so much. So I really appreciate that. Alrighty. I like that sound. It sounds like we just got our first donation. Thank you very much, Benbo. Really appreciate you. Let's see here. I just want to give a little bit more information about the raffle there. So when you actually send in your donation for the raffle, if you can include a message, I believe that you should be putting either your username or real name if you want to, or actually just include your email address so we can contact you. Also, we have the one moment. We have the main writer and artist for 5YL here with Kuro the artist. So very happy to have him on.
Hey guys, Kuro the artist here. Just wanted to give the official formal face of the Ink Tank a chance to put themselves out there. Thank you for the kind introduction.
No problem, man. You deserve it. He's the reason we're all here right now because of an idea he had, and he stoked the flames. And now 3 years in, we've got 5 years later with Chapter 9 coming out soon.
Oh boy, I honestly thought I'd be done by now.
You're never
Thank
done,
you,
dude.
Kuro.
Never.
You're never done.
Oh boy. Well,
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
thank you guys for having me on here. I just wanted to speak a little bit on how 5YL came to be. A lot of people already know the logistics, so I'll try to keep it simple. I have started as a Facebook page on YouTube. Wow. Off to a great start. Here we go. As you can tell, we are all 100% heads in the game right now. So I started as a Facebook page. I would just do free requests. People would shoot me a message to the Facebook page and say, hey, Kuro, can you draw this? This was back in about 2015. And I would do it. I never charged for my art. I didn't even really understand how commissions worked. And the only, I guess, payment I would say is please just share my work on your Facebook timeline. And a lot of times people would ask me to draw stuff and I'd do it and they wouldn't share it. So it's a hit or miss, but what can you do? Then I actually got a request by Fro here to draw Ben 10 and Danny Phantom fighting each other. And I already had a very strong obsession with the show. So I did the request. I really liked the way they turned out, and I started drawing them more and more together. And it just started naturally seeming like there was some type of strong connection there. And it was also around the time that I felt like I wanted to take a step forward outside of just doing free Facebook requests. I never really thought about becoming like an artist as a profession, but I knew I wanted to do something with it, and I figured writing a comic would be a pretty significant milestone, I guess. Like it's like I needed to do something that would be a testament to my commitment as an artist, something more congruent. And also I felt like the shows didn't really get a lot of conversation, I guess. So it was very popular in pretty much everywhere but America. I joke about that. It actually it was very popular in America. I got 4 series, come on. But Ben 10 in regards. Same with Danny Phantom. It kind of just, you know, it had its run. Both shows kind of just sort of died off, and I felt like if I was going to do something big like writing a comic, I would want it to mean something, and I knew I wasn't going to charge for it, so I didn't really have to worry about copyright stuff. And I felt like this would be the perfect opportunity to create something that would not only pay as a legacy to 2 franchises that I felt really impacted me in my life, as well as sort of take the next step in trying to create something that's more than just, you know, one and done.
Yeah.
But it has led to a whole plethora of different things that I'd like to touch on for a little bit in this stream. Because despite just starting as a free-to-read webcomic, the community it's created, the places it's reached all over the world, opened up a lot of doors, created a lot of opportunities for us, developed in a whole bunch of different ways. For instance, for one, 5YL led to the creation of Kuro, the website.com, eventually becoming now the inktank.co. And the website has been getting updated over the years. I really like how it is right now. It's very streamlined, very easy to contact either me or Ryan if you want to get more involved with our artwork. 5YL is there. All the concept art is there. It's very well organized. Older fans would know it didn't start off that way, but
Oh no, man, that site was cool even in the beginnings. You remember the Zim layout for the chapter selection screen? Just that was actually so cool. I remember because it actually even caught me off guard when I went to the site. So being able to use assets from the comic and even apply it to the website was, who else is going to even think to do stuff like that? And you have the website looking A1 at such a young age. So no, shout outs to that. Which also expanded to the Discord. If you guys were unaware, there's a Discord called the Tank server. You can also get an invite to that in the description below. We have, just like you mentioned, a giant community of people who enjoy 5 years later and enjoy everything around it. And we just love talking to them, seeing the art from the community and all of that. You can get all types of discussions and topics right there in the Discord as well. So there's also an official 5 years later wiki. And if you have not seen it, it is definitely a thing of beauty. Anything that you can imagine that has been touched upon in the comic, not only in the comic, but also things that are canon to it, but happen in the series, are also available on this wiki, along with descriptions and art, official art. I'm sure, just like on the website, there may also even be concept design on the wiki, maybe. But yes, it's all there on the official 5 years later wiki, which you can also find a link to in the Discord. Also, we've actually had a list of interactive contests, from fan art to fan alien contests, and even a redrawn screenshot giveaway that I believe Kuro himself did. So we're always trying to be involved with the community and just have as much fun as we can while everyone gets to enjoy what we do. So
that's very true. And in regards to basically what we're doing right now here on YouTube, I didn't really see going past making the infamous Ben 10 versus Goku video. We were just talking about this before we went live. I made that video just to send to people because I knew if I tried putting this comic out there, and people who might not be too familiar with the shows would be a bit questionable about the power set and everything is capable of. So instead of having the same conversation multiple times, I figured I'll just make a video that says everything I want to say, put it out there, boom, bam, done. Then people just really seemed attached to it. It created a lot of controversy, for better or for worse. Opened up a lot of doors. Met some pretty interesting people. Some I'm still have a pretty good relationship with to this day. And
you just did that with your Tracing the Border series in general. If anyone hasn't seen the Tracing the Border series, you did lots of different types of discussions about many different cartoons, and not just Ben 10 or 5YL, but you really did go into detail on certain things such as power scaling and what ifs of some sort, and just highlighting the highlights of the show of where it could be in quote unquote what went wrong to what you would have done at certain other times with the Tracing the Border series. And that even moved on to me and OR Ash and I doing Freeze Frame, which is kind of like comedy commentary on anything between like anime and cartoons. We recently did What If Venom Was in the Omnitrix Freeze Frame. So that one was a lot of fun to do between those. And you talk about controversy. But one of the biggest, most recently, the Ben 10 versus Green Lantern. I know everyone's got some choice words to say about that one.
That was
cut his arm off.
Man. That means things come in threes. So whatever wave 3 is, I'm gonna try to be ready for it.
He was on the front line for our man Ben and saying that he got cheated. It's what everyone knew. But thank you for trying to put some good on the good man's name.
Yeah. Of course. You
Oh,
gotta do
yeah.
what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta take care of business.
Oh yeah, business indeed. And
Enjoy
also
business.
the YouTube has brought on so many different collaborations with so many different YouTubers, all the way from Just a Robot, Alpha J, Pie Guy Rules, Diamond Bolt. Uh, that's just you just got a whole list that continues to grow there. And so, what's the thing for collaborations that you enjoy? Why do you do them?
Well, for behind the scenes reasons why I like them is because I like seeing everybody's method for making videos. Like, there's always the standard, you gotta research, you gotta script, you gotta record, you gotta edit, and you gotta upload. But everyone always like has their own methods of how they record, how they research, how they even produce the videos in general, like what they kind of focus their topics on, how they present their argument or their point. So collaborating, it always like offers like a new video making experience. I feel like I take a lot away from it every time I do one. But yeah, it's always great to do it. Another great thing that YouTube has given us is the opportunity for and beyond to become a thing. Ryan, you want to touch on that for a little bit?
Yeah. So And Beyond, for those of you who don't know, is a animated micro documentary series that explores the world building and lore of the comic series that we write 5 years later, the thing we've been talking about the whole time. And it basically goes into specifics, exploring different planets, dimensions, dimensional pockets, pretty much anything you would want to know lore-wise about Danny Phantom, Ben 10, or any other series that may or may not cross over into the 5 years later canon. The reason that I started doing it was because it actually stemmed from a freeze frame episode that we have that we talked about a theory that atomics and energy are the same species, but it's different subspecies of them. That got a lot of talk going about that type of topic, and a lot of people seem to like it. So we're like, hey, let's delve a little bit more into like different lore and aspects of the actual species and planets. Which that just went hand in hand with the fact that that was something I always wish they did with the actual series of Ben 10. Because we have a lot of species throughout the entire series. And a lot of them don't have species names, don't have planets that they come from. They're just a weird looking alien dude, and that's about it. Especially the ones from Omniverse. Like, we got Gut Rot, and he does like we don't know anything about him aside from he knows his chemicals. But yeah, we have no actual information on any of these, and it's not known if they actually did make any information. So with And Beyond, we kind of piece together different aspects and info bits from other things that we do have from the original continuity and try to make something that works solid enough to where it's believable and makes sense. And that's And Beyond.
It's hosted by a small robotic, handsome flying thing named Horace. Who
Handsome one.
Voice. Yes, he's quite handsome. He's very shiny.
Oh yeah, that Horace is sure is a looker, man. I just
Very
look at
handsome.
him
Thank
and
you so much.
my face just brightens up, man. My day does. I'm like, oh, that robot's cute.
It hurts my face to say this voice, to do this voice, actually, but sure, it's fine.
But yeah, no, every episode Horace takes you through either a new planet, discovering stuff about the species that live there, or we might go to the ghost zone, or maybe another variation of Earth or other things. But it's a very large multiverse.
So what planets have been covered so far? It's planets, and so the ghost portal and whatnot. But what about alien planets? I know we've done the Humongosaur and Methanos.
Yes, as of right now, we only have three episodes. 3 episodes?
3.
Yes.
3
episodes. I couldn't remember for a second. I was like, wait a minute, did that one come out yet? No. Currently we have 3 episodes. First one being Terradino, the home planet of Humongosaur, as well as Ben's other transformation, Astrodactyl, which if you watch that one, we also introduced another new transformation based off of the third dominant species of that planet that's canon to 5 years later. So make sure you watch that episode to see a cool new dude. We also have the second episode's on Methanos, which is Swampfire's home planet. Again, another new species is introduced that coincides and actually preys on Methanosians or Swampfire as well. And then our third episode explores the basics of the Ghost Zone, gives you a little introduction to ghosts and the Ghost Zone itself. Kind of explains the basics, just as a basic first Ghost Zone episode. Will we go back? More than likely. More than likely. You'll get some more details on specifics later.
Oh yeah, much later. But until we get to that later, I also kind of want to shout outs to the Rust Bucket. If you guys were unaware, we have a second channel. It is called the Rust Bucket. And what we post there is actually something different than what I've seen usually on YouTube, is that there's a different live stream almost every day of the week. So on Mondays, we have Dumb Doodles, usually with either OR Ash and I in a draw pile session like we currently are, taking requests from the audience. On Tuesdays, there's Drawing with Kuro, where Kuro will do commissions, and you guys can come and chill and hang out with him and watch, and maybe even commission him in case you might get one drawn on stream next time. On Wednesdays, there's Panda Games, where I myself will play no exact game in particular, but whatever I feel like it. And you guys are more than welcome to come by and chill with me, make suggestions for what we play or what we talk about, and just have a good time. After that, there is Thursdays. And is there anything on Thursdays, guys?
Only the most popular one.
Only the most popular one. What are we doing?
On Thursday, I'll take the reins here, Hershey. On Thursdays, we have Fusion Lab, where I typically work on commissions or just art in general that I like doing as a part of my Fusion Friday series. I basically take 2 or more characters, creatures, components, whatever you want, and mash them together in one design or concept or character. The series has been going for about 2 years. It's Thursdays. It's cool. I don't know what else to say.
That's it.
Cool
Yeah,
guy.
it's cool.
Cool guy.
Slap that on a shirt.
Hey, listen, if there was any reason to show up, it's because you just said it was cool. I'm there. I'm cool. I'm cool too.
I'm there for it.
It's we throw things together and it makes either some cool or disgusting or beautiful things. You really have to just kind of be there to see it.
Oh no, for sure. It's definitely an experience because this guy is definitely very entertaining, and so are his drawings. So I definitely recommend you guys to check that out.
Also, longest stream on the channel so far.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, no, he can have that. He can have that.
They vary between 4 and 12 hours.
Jesus
on
Christ.
my schedule. I know the
So,
first
yeah.
episode was 12 hours, so if you guys want to watch that, you can.
And do you do that on both this Thursdays and Fridays? So it's a 2-parter?
No, I normally do it Thursdays for sure. Fridays is kind of a pickup day. Either I will work on ones that I did not get a chance to finish, or I will work on a commission or something that I have in the works.
All right.
But
So there
yes.
you guys have it. If you ever see him streaming on the Friday night, he's stressed probably.
I'm stressed regardless, man. You good?
Oh yeah. So Saturdays, we actually have Frodo Shop with Fro the bro with the fro himself.
That's
And
me.
What do you guys do on Frodo Shop?
On Photoshop, what we do is pretty much take a predetermined idea of what it is that I want to make, and we get different assets from across the web, and we try to combine those assets into one solid picture. Other times, I do take requests. Lately, everybody has been interested in Ultra Instinct everything, Ultra Instinct Shrek, Goku. Yes, Ultra Instinct Fro. Like I will do Ultra Instinct whatever. So starting Saturdays, I will start taking more requests other than just doing predetermined ideas because I want this to be more interactive for the fans. So yeah, that's Photoshop on Saturdays.
All right. So, and then on Sundays, we have the Off Script podcast, and that's with both me and Fro. And we just talk about any topics, the latest cartoons that are out. We may even talk about Ben 10 sometimes, movies, shows, the news, anything. So if you want to come and chill on a Sunday morning or a Sunday evening and listen to us two guys have a conversation, then that's exactly what we're gonna do on that day.
It's like church, but better.
Yeah,
Because there's cartoons.
Exactly.
You know what? It is like church, but better. So that's the Rust Bucket. So definitely, guys, check out that. It's a nice streaming experience. And here on our YouTube channel, if you do go, we have a merchandise tab. There you can view anything that we have in our store. We do have some nice options there, from stickers to t-shirts, posters. Yeah, everything is going to be on there. So I would definitely keep an eye out on it. I'm actually going to just pin a little something there as an example. This is our But Hey, Alien X shirt. And that one's there as a classic. Man, that was years ago that was made.
I think that's the first like shirt we like made for like anything.
Yeah, I believe so. That's the first
like
piece of merchandise.
Period.
So it should be popping up there. So guys, definitely go check out our online stores there and see anything you like. Feel free to make suggestions if you want any type of sticker pack or anything like that, and we'll see if we can make it happen.
And we got new stuff coming out pretty much all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So 5YL kind of started out, and there was the us at the time, and when he was not working on 5YL, he had other clients, such as a few projects he did for Butch. If you go check out his channel, he's got some really awesome animations there. I believe the Fairly Odd Parents, if it were an anime, I remember that one got really popular when it dropped. The Crunchyroll ad.
Yeah, interesting enough, Butch he discovered me because of 5YL.
Yeah.
So
you want to tell that story?
Yeah. So, as you guys can probably have known, there's a cameo of Butch Hartman in the 3rd chapter, and I tweeted it out. I made it look like a whole little, fancy presentation that had like the whole red circle over it, and then like a real picture of Butch Hartman next to it, like saying like, "Did you know you can see Butch Hartman in chapter 3?" And
Nice.
he put it in one of his videos, and then I sent him a Snapchat saying like, "Oh, thanks for that, man." And then we started talking more. He offered me a job on one of his projects. Then I started doing stuff for his YouTube, and then it got me into the motion of working for other like people as clients instead of just straight on collaborators, just like offering myself as a service. So that's how I started doing that. I started making other connections. I got myself off my on my own grind, I guess. I don't know if there's a word for it.
No, there's definitely a grind, man.
There's a grind.
His work was so good that whenever he finished something else, someone was like, "I want to work with him now," because like his plate was full. Everyone wants to work with Kuro because it's just an experience.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, and then there was Michael with Phantom Hollow. That was amazing. That was a very life-changing experience, getting to go down to California and everything. And this all started with 5YL, just because I started putting it online.
Yeah, that's the biggest takeaway.
That is so cool.
Is that 5YL started all of this?
It did.
Mm-hmm.
It started when an alien dude and a ghost kid.
So Phantom Hollow, and you take on those, and you've got the weekly commissions. So how many? I don't know if this is a question you can answer on stream. How many commissions do you really? Is it like a lot? I feel like you always have something to do. There's always so many. Are they just still floating?
There is always something to do.
Well, let's just say like this. How many do you end up doing like per stream? Like, what's the most commissions you've done on the stream?
The most I've probably done 5 or 6.
6 commissions.
I used to averagely do 2 to 3. Then I was doing like 2 for a while just because I was really worn down. I had so much other things to do and I just couldn't do it. Then I got like a second wave. I was like, I'm gonna do at least 4 every single stream, and I think I've been keeping to that. I think I've been doing at least 4 every stream now. So trying to keep that up. And yeah, it's exhausting. And yeah, it's just 5YL. It's definitely the roots of a whole tree. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a metaphor and also draw. So I'm like, man, all of draw piles, man. I don't understand how these brushes work.
Dude, I'm not like you see having
Dude, your stuff looks good though. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Like you're good at it.
Look at Danny's eye over here.
Like, look at
Look
it.
at my Ben that I drew. I gave up on him.
Did you not see me try to draw Jack Finn and then just erased it? I was like, yeah, I can't do this
Man,
right.
I tried to draw Jack Fenton too, and he looks like the Dash's friend Quan.
Oh God, he does. He does.
Hey, Danny.
Oh,
We need a.
oh my gosh.
Oh no.
So we all know that all of this started with 5YL, and all of this, what this is the Ink Tank. And originally, the Ink Tank was just the name of our small group who worked on the comic. It was just something. So it would just be a group. So people all know that it wasn't just this person. Everyone put something in, and our collective name was the Ink Tank. Some people dropped out and some people stayed on board, but one particular artist who played a huge role when 5YL first started has left us with a special message to play for you, all in celebration of his success. So let's take a look at that.
Hey everybody, Alex here, also known as Insane Main, dropping by because I was asked to say a few words about the 3rd anniversary for 5YL. It's crazy to think how much time has passed since I was asked originally to be part of the crew and be a character designer for the first couple of chapters. I still remember the excitement of working on a large project with 2 characters that I really loved, Ben 10 and Danny Phantom. I think my definite faves of all the designs that I've done were definitely Armadillo and Eon. I think not being put into a box and having a lot more creative freedom was really fun to like flesh out some of their designs. I think it was also really fun to have a fan alien of mine appear, Slingshot. That was really cool. And so was inventing a new alien, Ultraviolent. That one was especially fun because everyone had their own unique creative ideas to put into him. It was a nice collaboration to come up with, the name, the design, the power set, the names for his attack moves, his species name, the planet, everything about it I thought was so much fun to come up with. I think after everything's been said and done, and after my departure with the Ink Tank, I'm still so happy that they had someone so talented like O.R. Ash take my spot as the character designer. A lot of his work is so good. I think it makes the comic look so much better. Here is to a happy 3-year anniversary for all of you guys. Here's to Kuro, Eve, Hershey, O.R. Ash, Fro, and anybody else that's joined. I hope you guys have a nice 3-year anniversary. You guys take care.
And we're back. Wanted to give another quick shout out to Alex for sending that video in. It really means a lot to me that he came through sending that video. He really did play a huge role in how 5YL came to be. Right off the bat, he was there from the first chapter. He sent us some incredible artwork to use. The first one was that mutant way bad that Ben and Danny kill in that first chapter. So again, go check him out. We posted his social media links in the video when this stream's after. Just go back, pause the video, take a look at what he does. I'm still following him. He's doing amazing stuff. So yeah, now we're into our next segment, the art style breakdown. It's just me for now. I'm just going to take over and go over one of the more, I guess, I don't really get a chance to speak on the logistics of 5YL too much. Mostly just either the background or just random lore questions. But as I'm sure you guys have noticed, between the chapters, the art style has been different pretty much every chapter. And I just wanted to go over that a little bit with you guys to kind of see the evolution of how I started creating what I've done. I hope it kind of really puts in perspective how much I feel not only the chapter has grown in quality, but I've grown as an artist, both in the way that I treat my art, I view my art, and I hope it becomes something that you guys are able to do too. I'm sorry I don't know how to turn my pinging noises off. I can try to figure that out now. Use your settings. Notifications, just turn them all off. Everything's off. Yeah, turn all this off. It's all gone. It's all gone. Alright, cool. Now, so I'd say there's pretty much 4 random not random, like 4 pretty significant eras of where the art style has changed. Back in chapter 1, I have a little presentation for you guys to figure out. So this is what I used for the first chapter. It would literally just be any random things I could find. I would use a pencil to sketch it out. I would use a pen to ink it. I would scan it onto my computer. I would put it into Photoshop and pretty much do exactly what I'm just going to show you right now. So as an example, I drew this as close to the chapter 1 art style as I could. Using a pencil, I tried not to get too messy with the sketches all the time because I knew it would be really hard to erase it. So once I got the sketch pretty refined to the way I wanted it to be, I would take this pen, just ink over it for it to look like this. And then from there, I would take the actual image pretty much right here and get to work on it. So what I would do first is I would go to image. No, not image. Where is it? I haven't done this in a while. Oh. Yeah, well, it's been a long time since I've done it this way. Trying to turn it black and white. Oh, yeah, it is image. Adjustments. Oh, no, first I go to brightness and contrast. Up the contrast. Up the brightness. Kind of cleans it up a bit automatically. Then I turn it black and white. As you can see, it's still kind of fuzzy, still very messy. Then what I would do is I would use the shape tool and try to clean it up just ever so slightly by... I like to picture it as like physically shaving it off. Like if this was some type of physical contraption, I would be carving out the pieces. And that's why chapter 1 has a very rough look. The very drawn look, because it's pretty much the actual pen strokes. The art style is very emulating both the Butch Hartman and Benton Omniverse style as best as I could. It's not an exact hybrid. There is a little bit of my flavor in there. Very thick outlines to start with around. Outlines would pretty much be overly thick around the character to make them stand out against the background. That's another very... It was done more in Fairly Odd Parents than Danny Phantom, I guess. Then yeah, this would pretty much be satisfactory for me back in the day. Just clean up the areas I felt like really would cause issues. Leave the rest of it be. This is really messy right here. And yeah, I did this for the first 3 or 4 chapters. It was this messy. I tried getting better with it as time went on, but ultimately I didn't have many tools at my disposal. In fact, this right here, I don't even have my scanner hooked up anymore. This is a picture off of my phone that I took of the drawing. Then I would just fill directly into the image, just like this. Oh, you know what? If I go to black and white and turn all the colors down. Yeah, in fact, no, sometimes you'd still even see this line. You just couldn't really see it from far away. Would I also color the dark? Oh, yeah. Oh, I would do it like that. Okay. Then I used to color sample all the time. I would be very strict about it, but I'm not going to do it here for the sake of simplicity. So the colors aren't too accurate, but yeah. This is pretty much how chapter 1 was. Then this part I would do digitally. Hang on, that circle's way too small. Now that circle's way too small. I'm gonna cheat for a second and use my stylus because I'm sure you guys get the point. So yeah, this is chapter 1. Oh, you know what? This was his phantom form and I gave him the human hair. Oh well. I also did make a lot of mistakes back then too. So it's kind of a tribute to it. Then later, I did get a little bit fancier. This is right around, you know, the later chapters, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would start being a little bit of an art elitist, I guess. Not really. I would just try to put more effort into the tools that I would use, because as you can see, just using any random things after a while, it all just, it becomes incredibly time consuming. I used to be very, you know, you don't need professional tools to draw, and you don't, but without them, it does take longer. So I guess that's where the decision for me to say, okay, I got to start like researching what's the correct stuff to do. So I would sketch first in a non-photo blue pencil, which would give me more freedom to be more sketchy with it, because non-photo blue pencils don't get picked up when you scan them. So I can leave all of my blue sketches, not have to erase it at all, and it would be fine. Then using a micron pen or a fine point Sharpie, that's how I would ink over it. The fine point, the fine point Sharpie, yeah, for the regular outlines. The micron pen for the detail, I would use a size 08. So it would start looking like this. As you can see, the outlines for the micron pen are blue. It's all I had because I don't buy them anymore. But it is dark enough to be able to pass through the next phase, which is when I shoved it into Adobe Illustrator and converted the pixels to vectors, which makes it look like this. And as you can see, it's still pretty messy, so it's still not even like that much of an improvement, but it does make the lines look a lot cleaner. One thing I actually disliked about this method is when it rasterized, it created very round points, round segments and everything. I'm not going to clean this one up too much just for the sake of getting through to the last two segments faster. As you can see right here, this doesn't really work, so I can just cut this away entirely. I would clean this part up here. So one thing that I tried to make as a contrast for 5YL Danny is I wanted his hair to be glowing. I didn't want it to be like fire, at least like not at first, and not like a light source, but I wanted it to come off like very bright. So instead of adding effects to it to make it glow and everything, I would just not shade it at all. And no matter what, no matter the color palette, no matter how dark or light the room is, no matter what's happening, his hair will always be 100% pure white. No shading, nothing at all, just to try to make it stand out a bit more. And I'd like to say it worked, but I feel like it didn't really make too much of a difference. But then again, I was very inexperienced with Photoshop. I didn't have the tools that I needed, so if I wanted to do something better, I wouldn't have even known where to start. This shape tool here was pretty much my handyman, as I did not have a stylus for the longest time. In fact, I didn't have a stylus till about, I don't remember. Whenever I did that Huion sponsorship, and they gave me a tablet. I did have another tablet prior that actually Fro got me for a present back in 2015, but for a while I didn't have a laptop to use it with. But I'll get into that later, actually, because that is relevant for a later topic. So here, what I would do, and I still kind of use this method in a way, is I would duplicate the layer. Then let me turn these layers invisible for a second. Now we got one outline layer right here. I'm going to erase all of the white, and it becomes just the outline. Then I put it above the outline layer we saved with the white, so that when we start filling it in, we could really get up in there and not have to worry about destroying the outlines. Oops, I did it on the wrong layer. Unless you're on the wrong layer. But as you can see, with this layer turned off, the more I click into there, the more it cuts into the lines. But then if I put the outline layer back on top of it, it's like nothing happened. This is definitely not a good color skin for Danny. That's not either. It's more of like a... It's like this. Same method with the hair. I tried to apply that with the eyes. I would just make him a solid color, no pupils or anything, to try to kind of make him soulless. Because he's a ghost, you know. I tried to amp up the ghost looks a little bit more. Still very messy, especially with these pupils. In fact, I think sometimes I just didn't draw the pupils at all. And when I scanned it, I would just use the circle tool. So let's go ahead and just delete those. Yep. Oh wait, no, we're doing Phantom. So Danny's green, I didn't start doing this till later, but I'm going to do it for the sake of now. His green is very turquoise and Ben's green is very lime green to kind of separate them. But for the earlier chapters, Danny and Ben's green were very similar, almost indistinguishable, which I felt like I wanted to change later. I also got a little bit more intricate with the shading. I would just create a new layer, trains the transparency to about, let's say 35%, then use the shape tool and literally draw out my shadows like this for every single object, character, and background that would have significant shadows. And this was the most miserable part. I had very specific ways that I would shade it too, that I tried to deviate from every now and then depending on the light source, but I really didn't worry too much about that. I mean, cartoons in general don't really worry about that too much anyway. Just fill that in. There we go. This is closer. I think I did the forehead a little bit too big for this one. But let's move on. So version 3 is when I got the Huion tablet. Now this is where I can actually start really working with it. So the first way I started doing things digital, it only got to be really shown in chapter 8, because I didn't really get this method down that well until very late in the game. But of course, using a tablet, I use a Huion Canvas Pro 12. I have an entire review of it on my channel as a pen to paper episode. Yeah. So here I would just be able to sketch things as normal. I'd be able to get really messy, really into it, because beauty with digital art, if I make a mistake, the way to erase it is just so easy. But I do like the feel of traditional art more. It's just you really got to take your time with it to get things right. You got to focus a little harder. Sometimes I did, in the pages I did, it would really shine. But a lot of 5YL, especially the earlier chapters when I was traditional, it would be done at restaurants, on buses, whatever job I was working at the time. And I really didn't have time to like sit down and focus and like get all the faces and positions and everything right. Not like I have now. Yeah, I'll do Human Danny. So the only real difference between Human Danny and Phantom Danny, aside from their color palette, is Human Danny has very shorter, tamer hair. Phantom Danny has longer hair, and of course the eyes as well. And yeah, Human Danny does have like distinguishable pupils, highlights, and all of that. I don't really know how the blue sweater and red shirt combo came to me, but it seems to really work for this Danny. It just makes him look very, you know, lax, calm, professional, but like not really as engaged with the world as he was earlier. I always thought it was unique with the eyes that I did, where I would add a little tail right here at each end to kind of signify that little pink spot on your eyes, just to try to make my art style a little bit more identifiable. Not really sure how that worked out. All right, so from here, Make an outline layer. Let's set our smoothing to 15, flow at 100. Let's set our brush size to 20 is good. So this is where I tried to do the really good official art looking clean line work. As you can see, the methods I got with drawing these characters, I moved further and further from trying to emulate the show's art style and try to get into my own. And I felt by chapter 8, I was drawing more towards my own art style, but the method itself still really wasn't there. So I had the style down that felt more like me, but the way I was drawing, this way that I'm drawing right now, it's I don't know, maybe I just suck at drawing very smooth and clean lines. Or I don't have the patience, but either way, I enjoy the much more smooth, sketchy, freer style. Another advantage of digital art, I can just go straight over and do that. Another thing that I didn't really take too much advantage with when doing digital art was, you know what, I'm going to turn this into Phantom Danny. I'll just make it a little bit more swoopy because I want to show you this, is I kept keeping the hair solid white to make it have a sort of glowing effect, but I still used black outlines. I used black outlines for everything just because when drawing traditionally and scanning your art, all your outlines are black, and I couldn't really figure out an efficient way to change the colors of my lines without initially drawing them as those colors in Photoshop. And despite switching to digital, where it is much easier and definitely possible, I felt like I needed to stay in line with the ways that I was still drawing everything earlier. So I was like, well, I used black outlines this long, I might as well keep doing it. I did it with the ecto energy, but then you'll notice sometimes in chapter 8 I move further and further away from using black lines on special effects like energy, explosions, ecto energy, and all of that, but it definitely starts that way. So I continued it as long as I could, but I eventually moved away from that as well. As you can see, this version of Danny looks much cleaner. Another thing that made drawing like this challenging was being so attached to using the fill bucket when coloring, instead of just, you know, coloring behind like you would as if it was traditional with like some colored pencils or markers or something. I felt like the fill bucket was so much faster and it wasn't worth trading in the fill bucket to do it the other way just because of time efficiency. But as you'll see in the next style, I did eventually suck it up and say, you know what, I'm just going to start coloring that way. And if you tune into Drawing in Kuro every week, I do retain that method of drawing. Nose is a wee bit big here. Kind of giving him that DreamWorks face. Because, you know, gotta have that variety. Alright, and now, again, I would duplicate the outline layer, but since there is no white to go off of, I would have to make a third layer of just the color white, merge it with the underneath outline layer, and then delete what I don't need. Oops, it's still on contiguous. There we go. I'll color sample that last, Danny. Oh, wait. I was going to do Phantom to show you the white hair. Well, yeah, it would look like this, you know. Even though I would keep the white hair, I would still make it black. Same with making his hair pure black. That was a very difficult decision for me to just continuously making his hair solid black. Even all the way up into chapter 8, I felt like I just had to do it because I was doing it that way for so long That's another thing I let go in the next art style, and just really let loose and drew it the way I wanted to. For the eyes, the eyes specifically, I got more used to coloring in with the stylus rather than creating a shape and filling it in with the fill bucket tool. I felt like because it was so small, it was easier to do it this way, and I guess trusting it in this way is what led to me being more comfortable doing it with everything. All right, and last one, I'm going to draw his phantom form, and I'm going to draw his more beefed up phantom form, because this is what he's going to start looking like now. So now when I sketch it, I just completely draw it however I want to. I don't think about methods or anything. I just say, I want it to look like this for this reason. So at least in the sketch, I always started off the same way. But I do put a little bit more emphasis on certain details, like, you know, the cheekbone structure. There's ever so subtle lines there. I don't try to do a completely thick outline anymore. The reason I did that last time is because I needed to create areas inside of the character to fill as a solid color, which I couldn't do. Like, as you can see, I skipped filling in underneath here because there's nothing to contain the color. So if I did that, it would just go everywhere, like this. So with here, I didn't really care about creating color shapes because I was just going to scribble it in, so I didn't need to worry about that. Noses especially, I've changed. I just try to shape out where they'll be first. Really get into the bridge, the bulb of the nose, the nostrils, the things that cover the nostrils. Really get all those individual teeth, a little bit of the lip and the cheek curling in. You got to get the folds of the skin where the scowl comes in. And at least for now, his ears are they're not really big, they're just kind of pointy. In fact, he doesn't have fangs right now either, but I just felt like doing them for this version. You can really see all of the features. Honestly, really not having to worry about the fill bucket tool completely changed my art style. It changed everything. I felt like that was the one thing I still held on to, because it's once I start doing something a certain way, even right here, just like using the selection tool to change the size of things, because I'm not liking the shape of these eyes. Is if I learn how to do something and I'm really good at it, I don't like to change the method. It's not like I downright refuse. It's just like if it's still working well for me, I don't like to change it. And using the fill bucket tool was something I never wanted to let go of because I was so used to it. And it was just like, I am not going to sit here and friggin' do this forever. But now it's honestly not so bad. I don't even think about it anymore when I'm coloring. Do the ear a little bit bigger. And of course, I don't need to sketch out the hair. Now the outline, this is another change. I changed my brush to something a lot sketchier looking. It looks a little bit rougher. So it kind of represents the chapter 1 style a little bit, as you can see here. Except this time it's on purpose. So I have a little bit more control over where specifically it looks messy. And where I want the lines to be very strong. Inside of the ear, I usually do a solid black. Then I start adding little lines to try to help shape out the face a bit. Also makes everything look a little bit shiny. Really get those folds in there. So yeah, it's pretty messy, but as you can tell, I'm a messy artist. But you gotta own it. So I can be a lot more lax about how these lines look. And I use a solid black for shading a lot. I did this a lot traditionally, and it's something I let go of when I started doing 5YL. I wanted to do something different. You can see, you know, a seam where the collar comes in. You could really see the zipper, then the folds of fabric that cover the zipper. Yeah, this is why chapter 9 is taking so long, because it looks like this. But it's worth it, because once I put it out there, it's out there forever. So I figure, you know what? I'm just gonna take my time with it. Ooh. The eyes are kind of like Ben's alien forms, where they got a bold black line around them. No pupils at all. He's in what I call an awakening state. I don't want to elaborate too much on that, but it'll all come to pass soon. I like to be able to see a little bit of the other ear around here too. And then I finally started using different colored lines for other stuff. So the hair now has a gray outline. I also use just little trails of dots to kind of show, because now his hair really is fire because he's getting more powerful. And that's as far as I'm going to go with that. Then I create that color layer. Let's get that sample. You know what, I'll just make it again. That's good. So yeah, this is how he looks like in chapter 9, minus the fangs. In fact, I can turn the sketch layer off now. There we go. I still don't shade the hair whatsoever though. It still always will be a pure white.
Hey there, Kuro. Just want to say you take a look at the messages.
Oh, sure. Now, for his suit and for other things that are technically white, I never make them pure white. I make them ever so slightly gray. I only make the teeth and the hair pure white. So we get down to his suit. And this I can just kind of let it trail off because I don't have to worry about that fill box. Then we got the eyes. So this is a pretty unique way. Let me show you this. So I make it one thing, then I make it almost white of the inside color. Then I make a new layer, switch over to the regular brush, turn the hardness all the way down, the size up decently. Put it over each eye like that. Let me turn that flow up to 100. So pretty much do the same thing with this feather, then lighter inside. Then change the blending mode to hard light. And there we go. This is Chapter 9, Danny Phantom. And yeah, so it's all the different ways that I've been drawing this comic through the years. We got Chapter 9. Here's Chapter 8. We got the later chapters of the traditional era. Let me turn this Huion tablet off. And Chapter 1. I didn't plan to have them all in a line. I can make this look more presentational, upload a photo on the Discord layer if necessary. Well, here you go. So I'm going to be switching back over to the draw pile screen now. And Hershey's going to take you guys to the next segment. I'm still going to be sticking around for the rest of the stream. Thank you guys for checking this out. And if you liked this little sample of me putting together some art, you should check out my streams every Tuesday on the Rust Bucket, Drawing with Kuro. Take it away, Hershey.
Hey guys, Hershey, I'm back here, and we're actually going to be going into an interview now today. Kellen, if you're here, you may enter. I just want to introduce him here. We have Kellen Goff, voice of Overhaul in My Hero Academy, voice of Fiddlesticks, League of Legends. He's got so many roles there that he's taken part of and knocked them all out. Part. And what we have found out is he is actually a fellow Ben 10 and Danny Phantom fan as well. So, care to introduce yourself, man?
Hi, everybody. How's it going? I'm Kellen.
How you doing today, man?
How you doing?
What's going on, dude?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing? And I loved watching you your process, Kuro. It's really
Thank you.
Yeah, it really looks like a nice look in the life, man. Like he does that all day sometimes. Just
all day.
Yes, I do.
It has changed so often. Just look at the art style change for 5YL.
Yeah.
It has improved significantly.
Thanks, dude.
I have followed it since the beginning. I have just been too shy to say so until recently.
Oh well, I mean, coming from you, who has like an actual foot in the industry, who's out there doing legitimate projects and everthing, to
What
acknowledge.
you talking about, actual foot, Mr. Butch Hartman friend? Don't put yourself down. You're amazing.
I appreciate that, but I mean, it really means a lot that you reached out to me, saying how much you enjoyed the series and everything.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's
because like you're one of the only ones that's like really taking the original continuity and extending it to the place where we all wanted it to go. Like I was super stoked when they were like, Kevin, Gwen, we're going on a road trip. I'm like, oh, they're finally going to see all the planets and stuff. And reboot. Oh, okay. But not to say that the reboot doesn't have great stuff, just to say I would have really liked to see where it goes. And you did it. This is the man who did it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. So, Kellen, we're going to actually, Terrence here asking you a few questions here. So I'll just take it off and start. So, as a fan of Ben 10 and Danny Phantom, what draws you to these shows, and how have they impacted your life?
What I always loved about them is that and this is the same reason I like Transformers, is universes where they're like potentially infinite and you could make something yourself and it could potentially be part of it because the universe is just that big, have always been infinitely fascinating to me. And then I always have loved, superpower stuff and shape shifting. I just like anything that is like nothing that could happen right now in real life. I really like the fantasy and science fiction stuff, and I love the science that goes behind these two shows as well. So they inspired me from a young age to love that kind of genre. I used to wear my my old 2005 Light and Effects Omnitrix from the first series. As a sixth grader, I would wear that to school, and I would get promptly shoved in a locker, as I should have been. But I
hit them with forearms.
I had that,
they're not ready for that.
Yeah, that's what I tried to do. I said, "I'll beat you, Ripjaws. I'll beat Fist," and he won that one.
Everybody can say that they've imagined that they had an Omnitrix or that their watch was one. I remember I didn't have anything, and I just was touching my wrist, and I'm like, accelerate. And I turned around to run and ran straight into a car. I always remember that.
The Samsung Galaxy 2 actually looked the closest to like a real smartphone Omnitrix or a real smartwatch Omnitrix I've ever seen. So I had that thing like on when I slept. I love that thing. So yeah, just feeling like that power from it is what I really loved. And then I've always loved the alien idea too. Like, we're not alone. Not only that, but they have superpowers. Sign me up.
Oh yeah. Just to touch on that question. So really, it's the fact that what the creators provided, there was just so much to work with. So behind those shows, you have all this possibilities, and now people like us, people like you, can just go behind them and say, "Oh, this can be there, and this could be there, and if they said this, then this could be true too." So yeah, you're right. Just really expansive universe.
I love theorizing and making my own stuff that will probably never see the light of day, and I just love being a part of that. There's such a great community, best of all, with all that.
Ash?
Yes, I got a question for you as well.
Hi.
Hello. So the other question that I have is, who is your favorite Ben 10 alien and Danny Phantom Ghost, if you do have a favorite? Because we get that question all the time.
Well, for Ben 10, God, there are so many good ones that it's been hard to pick a singular one. I love every electric alien. I really like Feedback in that he can just like absorb that stuff. And I always loved Buzz Shock since I saw him in the original Ben 10,000 episode. I loved Upgrade from a young age, just the techno stuff and even the beam that came from him. And God, there are just so many. So I don't think I could pick one in particular. But for Danny Phantom, I always felt an affinity for Box Ghost. I really like. I really
Box Ghost is such a good character that you just hear his
back school.
Yeah. I always love to root the underdog, and if not Danny himself, I always loved his transformation sequences. I don't know, I just like shape-shifting stuff. But yeah, Box Ghost will probably win that one for me.
I got you.
Beautiful.
Mr. Fro, you got a question?
Yeah, I do, actually. Do you feel that 5 years later deserves the reputation it has as the most accurate, unofficial continuation of the series?
Absolutely. You guys have done such an amazing job, not only taking everything that's happened into account, but putting it towards a future that could happen in this universe and make sense. Not only just doing that, but explaining why and how it happened. That's something that the TV shows fall short on. They won't always have enough time to explain it adequately or to even think of a good explanation. But you guys, you just make stuff that works, and it's my canon ending in my mind. And I love the inclusion of all the parallel universes. I think they work really well together. And I feel like if this were to be the next animated show in any way, it would be doing the original one justice.
Thank you so much.
Why I became guys fan, because it's good. It's it's amazing. I can't say anything.
It's like, was there really even a choice? I like the sound of that. It's so good.
Also, because I don't have a thesaurus next to me, and I've been in my room for days, because we're in the great state of California, state where the state bird is the bird flu. So.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Very infected here.
That was good.
Yeah, I heard California.
Is there a dog barking?
Hardest with this.
I'm sorry about
quarantine
that.
Thing. What?
Yeah. We well, it's because not only everyone coming here for spring break, but because this is where people come to make movies too, and they wouldn't stop. We're like, stop. Close the plane. It'll all turn out fine. Yeah. Hold the door, that kind of thing.
Well, speaking of the movie industry, let's take it back to the voice acting industry. From the perspective of a professional in the industry, why do you feel it is important for fans to create these passion projects of their favorite franchises? Do you feel they really make a difference?
Well, I would tell you to ask a professional in that case. I'm anything but. Well, from my point of view, I feel like all the best ideas came from inspiration from other shows. Without what's a good one? Without Buck Rogers, we wouldn't have Duck Dodgers. That's just the first one that came to mind. But there are plenty of shows that are amazing, that have drawn inspiration from others. So when a fan project like this is made, I feel not only does it serve as candy for the fan base, and it's us expressing our creativity towards that. Hell, without Back to the Future, we wouldn't have had Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah,
I feel like
no, you're right. You're making a lot of good points.
Without our fan creations, I feel like original characters in our fan creations wouldn't go on to become something more and original that we came up with. I think it's one of the best transition tools, and I hope something like that comes from this, if possible. Something successful. Not that this isn't successful, just like
I get you. I was always thinking like
the whole country knows it, kind of deal.
If 5YL could become anything, I'd like for at least the Orion Squad to get a spin-off or something. Like I feel
That'd
like
be dope.
they have a strong enough presence to maybe have their own show or something. It can start off with like, I don't know, Ben, just to establish the universe. He shows up every couple episodes or so.
Turns into its own little rescue bot spin-off.
Oh yeah.
I really like that, and I really just want to say, if there is anything I can do for you guys before the comic ends, I would love to contribute if I can help you out in any.
Yeah, you know what? Why don't you stick around after the stream, because there's something we do want to talk to you about.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome that you say that.
Absolutely. I it's just like I can tell it's history already, but it's going to be like it's going to be like something everybody looks back on. It's like, yeah, that was an amazing project. I'm glad that was part of it.
Yes.
Awesome.
Speaking of looking back on it, so what is your favorite and least favorite part of 5YO?
Sorry, you cut out a bit on that.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to say that transition again because it was pretty clean.
Give us a segue. Go.
Oh, wait, you're putting me on the spot now. Speaking of looking back, Sweats, speaking of looking back, what is your favorite and least favorite part of 5YO?
Did you say squints?
Sweats.
Oh, sweats. I find it weird that if anybody's response to being put on the spot is squinting, that would be an odd tick to have. Not I don't judge, but
Thanks, man.
Least favorite part, I don't know. I can't really think of one part that stuck out to me. Like, I guess see, I like the idea of Generator Rex, but I was never really too into it growing up, and I didn't really get into the lore that much until the crossover. So when the what are they called? The giant amalgamations showed up, it didn't really hit me as hard as the rest of it. I didn't dislike it. It just, I felt like it was supposed to be this big reveal because it was the end of that chapter, and it didn't really hit me as hard because I didn't know about Generator Rex, and I read later that was it was because of that. But yeah, I can't say any part in particular that I dislike. My favorite part I think was the ultra-violent reveal. I really like his design. I wish the guy was here so I could say kudos to him. I love that design. I love Slingshot too. I like his aliens. I just really like whenever a new alien is revealed. Even going back to the original series, that was always like landmark. I would think about it for days afterwards, kind of deal. So I guess any new alien revealed takes the prize for me.
Oh, okay. That's really understandable. That would be kind of like the coolest thing because really, whenever we have a session and we do things for creating like aliens and whatnot, it's always so much fun to see everyone bouncing off of each other. Like, what's this going to be based off? What's this going to do? What's it going to look like? How are the powers going to work? I just remember one we had a few days ago.
Hershey,
I
could be a fly on the wall during that, if I could have observed any of that, God, I would be geeking my pants.
Just use omnitrix
You
to fly on the wall
for reasons you wouldn't expect.
You would be.
A lot of the times we're just
screaming at each other.
Either that or an alien will come about based on like
just
something you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
It's probably not what we started with.
No, he's lavender.
One time,
Shit like
I believe we were just Googling different animals for about an hour and just saying, "What about an alien based on this?"
No,
and we would just our process is very
I don't know about that way.
so many partially started sketches that end up being nothing.
Yeah, I can't even look back at that first Danny. I'm just gonna go ahead and just
So I believe that you had a question to RR ask there.
I did. This is a personal question I wanted to ask. You as a voice actor, it's a two-parter question. One, who was your favorite voice in any of the original continuity, be it an alien or a character? And if you could voice any character or alien in the original continuity, who?
that's a good question.
That's a good one.
I hit him with the hard ones.
In the entire continuity? Oh man!
If you want, you can.
You're gonna break
pick
them.
a specific one.
No,
if you
no.
want.
Yeah, you know what? Per series, that's a good idea.
That's even better.
In the original series, I'm not cutting out, right? You guys can hear me.
Yeah, I got you.
You're good.
We can hear you.
Okay, good. In the original continuity, I loved everything that D. Bradley Baker did. Stinkfly was such a unique voice. Wild Mutt's noises were great, and Eye Guy was awesome. Yeah, so I think those take the cake. In Alien Force, I really like that they introduced Greg Sipes as Kevin. I loved the original, but I feel like Greg added this fudge boy, a substitute for the bad word aspect to it.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Kevin,
Yeah.
cool.
I love
Ju-
Greg
just
Sipes.
like- yeah, he's great. For Ultimate Alien, trying to think. I don't know Ultimate Alien.
It's still
as
just
well.
more D. Bradley Baker.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's a lot of D. Bradley Baker. I like
Gotta
the
love
vocal effects they put on Ultimate Echo. Sure.
That was cool.
Yeah. And then for Alien Force, believe it or not, what takes the cake for me is Terraspin. I think that's the voice he should have always had.
Wait,
I-
Alien Force?
No, not
Yeah,
Alien
well-
Force. Excuse me.
yeah.
Omniverse.
Ultimate.
Omniverse.
Omniverse.
Yeah.
Because he sounds like he has an accent, but he doesn't really. He's just a turtle.
And I really like what Bumper brought to him.
Yeah, he kind of sounds. I want to say slippery.
He's kind of
Yeah.
cranky.
He's like,
Yeah.
I like.
I remember the one where it's like, Terrace, great, I'll turtle him into submission. I love I love the lines from that. My favorite joke from Omniverse is like, it's like, well, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you ask? You don't just go up to someone and say, hi, I'm Ben Tennyson. How my atmosphere is made of oxygen. How's yours?
Oh, dude, I just watched that episode.
That one is good.
They really got better on the writing in Omniverse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope that answered your question. Oh, and the second one, if I could voice any.
Yeah.
God, just any. You know what? I would love to be Omniverse Spitter. That would be a lot of fun.
there you go.
Oh,
If
that's
they
what
didn't
everyone
get-
wants.
I know you just made the whole
If they-
Discord happy.
If they didn't get D to do it, which I'm sure they would because he did in the original and he was already there and part of the ensemble cast. I love doing monster stuff, as you've probably seen with Fiddlesticks. I love that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
So
Plus all the other 200 monsters you play on other various things.
yeah, we don't have to read the whole list. So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Very much so. That was cool.
Thank you so much, man.
Awesome.
You're
We
awesome.
appreciate that.
You're so awesome, dude. We really appreciate you for coming on here today.
Yeah, we're.
Thank you for having me. I love nerding out about this stuff, and you guys are like Apex.
We're the apex nerds.
Yeah,
Apex nerds.
Of course, I got my.
The
My
Apex
best accomplishment.
contributors, yeah.
Well, yeah,
And I hope one day, the god of Cartoon Network or what have you, he praise unto him, will come down from his holy throne and say that 5 years later is the canon continuation of the original series. They've got their reboot thing
Oh
going.
man, that would
God,
be
I wish.
beautiful.
I would legitimately flip out if that were to happen.
All they have to do is go on their Twitter and say it's canon, and that's it.
That's it. Like,
Just
literally,
tag
that
Ink
easy.
Tank.
Yeah. But you have the screenshot, and receipts don't lie.
They sure don't.
Exactly.
Man, the internet has
of,
taught us that one.
Speaking of geeking out with you, so we're gonna now take a look at 5 years later itself. We asked you beforehand, which chapter would you want to go over with us on the stream? Right now, we're just gonna go through a chapter page by page and do our own little commentary on it. And you told us you wanted to go over chapter 7. Would you want to tell us a little bit about why you chose that one before we get into it?
Chapter 7 was really cool because that's where Ben sort of you guys gave the best explanation for why Alien X shouldn't be overused. It was like actually really heartfelt, and it strung a heart chord with me when it was like he doesn't want to, just be that guy. It wouldn't be worth it if it was just like always boom saved, where he could alter anything. So I really like that part of it. And then I love I'm pretty sure this is 7. Yell at me and flame me and cancel me if it's not. But isn't that where he like put on his uniform mode?
Yep.
Because I really like that. I love that part. It's like
Nice.
it's like because I felt that was like Ben's homage to Danny in a way, because he was like suiting up into his jumpsuit there with like the Omnitrix
Yeah, he's
lights.
getting
and
serious.
stuff. Yeah, I love most of all about this that it delves into the different things that the Omnitrix can do, more than just being a communicator or turning into aliens. It also has like a uniform mode, and it can like it's got like a battle mask with like lock on and stuff. It's like, Jesus, this thing can be so many different
It's light.
things. Yeah. Anyhow. Yes, that's why.
Awesome. Well, I hope you guys can all see it in the Discord, right? I'm currently broadcasting the Photoshop file containing all of Chapter 7 in the Discord screen share, as well as for our audience on YouTube right now.
Yes, we
So
can
we'll
see
all
I
be
can
able
see
to
it.
take a look at this together. First things first, I want to say this cover here was drawn with that tablet I mentioned earlier that Avery gave to me back in 2015. Sorry, Fro.
Either one's fine.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Exposed. And Ash's real name is Ryan. My real name is Derek.
Yo, he's like, I might as well keep going.
Oh, they're gonna find me.
You guys will never guess Hershey's real name.
I'll give you a hint.
And my real name is Kuro.
I knew it.
Oh, what a big
twist.
twist. That's really why
He's
Kellen's here. He's here to reveal
He's
this.
that good at voices.
It was me all along.
Spoiler alert.
That's how good he is at voices. He's been Kuro this entire time in every video.
I fooled his parents for 16 years. He's been missing,
Yeah.
and we don't know where he is.
So yeah, this was drawn with that tablet. That kind of tablet. It was the way I can best describe it is like a giant trackpad from a laptop. So I couldn't see the screen when I'm looking at it, so I kind of had to like match my hand movements while looking up, and it was a bit tricky. But every time I worked with it, I got better and better. I did this cover with that. I felt really accomplished because it was very hard to do. But yeah, let's just jump into it. So right here, we got the first page. This is with that second version of the traditional style where I draw everything, scan it, and all of that. One interesting thing I want to note about this is no one seems to question why there was this giant tree here. And I did have an explanation for that. I guess I'll just say it now since nobody ended up asking. So Eon Force grew this giant tree next to it to meditate on, and then shot out like an energy disc or something to cut it so that it's like very flat on top. It kind of reminds me of like something out of Code Lyoko, looking at it now.
Oh my God!
It does look like Code Lyoko.
I didn't even think of that when I saw
Damn,
it.
you're
Yeah, that
busting
is
out
true.
the Code Lyoko.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
This is the first time we're hearing about that too.
Xana's coming.
No.
Dan,
Oh, no.
Anna.
Yep. Only Xana was powerful
still-
enough to
I
run the
still-
Godmaker.
I still want to know what Jeremy's avatar looked like.
Oh my god, dude! I
Oh
can't
my
believe
God,
they
you're
never
right.
showed
Doesn't
that,
have
dude.
one.
They never showed it?
No.
They
all I
never
know is
showed
that
it. I'm so mad about that.
He went in once to cure himself, and when he came out, everybody was laughing. It's like, what is he like? Is he like naked or something? What is it?
Well, his hands
I
are
wanna
normal
know.
size.
There was another episode where he went into like, I don't know, like a dimension between Lyoko and the real world or something, and like Aelita was 3D but he was 2D, and I was like,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
this just
Oh yeah,
it was cool, but it's like, come on, just show his Lyoko form. But and yeah,
Please.
topic.
they were advertising Second Life.
Yeah. Oh. Let's see. Oh crap! I just opened all these pages. Yeah. So here it's kind of just explaining. You know, because ever since Chapter 4, I confirmed like Eon's been like wiping out Ben. So like, why would Ben Prime be so significant? He needs Vlad's help for, and this is kind of just hinting a little bit at his true power. Especially, I actually am glad that you chose this comic because there is something about the Alien X scene I do want to say later on.
I knew it.
Dramatic
I
shot
knew
of
there was
Neil's
something
eyes.
more.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Oh,
I
those
love this
crinkly
shot.
eyes.
I love it.
yeah. Thank you. They love you.
It looks so painful.
I know. I
It
was about to
does.
say that. It looks like
Yeah,
a
that's
bird.
his. That's his.
Yeah,
skin off.
he looks like Dobby. Did he burn off?
He's like, I basically see fire.
This
At
is
this point.
Tennyson gave
Time travel, not even once.
no.
Or he just put on too much eyeshadow and
Yeah,
It burned through his skin.
he's ashamed. He has to go sulk in a tree because he's too ugly. His date stood him up. Vlad's like, "Come on, man, just one dance." He's like,
Just one.
I'm hideous. No,
He
you're
said, I
not.
told
Turns
you,
around
if
alcohol.
you, if you wore some
ship is
Supreme instead
real.
of those rags, you
the
probably
ship
would-
has sailed.
Speaking of ship, now this is the ship hiding out in the plumber. No, not plumber. This is a plumber ship. They're just hiding out in a
Pocket dimension.
pocket dimension.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the
Outside
ship has been
the-
repaired by blocks.
Which I
Yes,
still
it
get
was.
people saying all the time they don't know it's repaired by blocks.
It's
like,
not
yeah,
stated.
it is.
I mean, you wouldn't know unless like you seen the wiki. But I mean, you
Kinda
could kind of just
wiki.
tell it was repaired just by looking at it. So I guess it really doesn't matter why. I try not to focus too much on details that deviate from the story because it just gets confusing after a while. Here's Danny getting wasted.
Word.
A lot of people don't really notice.
I
but
wanna
here's,
get
here's a straight
chocolate.
bottle of vodka and a bunch of shots. It's kind of alluding.
I
to-
never even noticed
fuck.
that.
Holy crap!
I never noticed that. I thought he was
I
just
didn't-
having smooth.
I didn't
chasing it
notice
down
that
with
either.
I thought it was like a urine sample or something they just left out.
I just thought it was
Wow,
water.
that's crazy.
Oh my god.
But then I noticed the shot glass and I'm like, what are you guys doing on this?
No, there's a lot that kind of ties into more of just Danny, and to an extension Vlad's internal stress of their responsibilities. Jack just being a genius inventor, everyone's always expecting more from him now that his technology is worldwide. Now he has to do the next big thing or something. And Danny now has to save everything after being retired. So he's like, "Oh my god, I am going to die." So Rook's kind of here to just
Casual
make him feel
Rook.
better. I wanted to give Rook more things to do because he's terribly outclassed next to everybody else.
He's in that-
battle.
He's got that dad shirt though.
Yeah. Papa Rook
Casual
Looks like he's about
here
to
make you feel better.
Looks like he's about to go build a shed.
Would you like to assist me,
This
Daniel?
is the part of the comic where Danny and Rook develop a bond by building a shed together.
And I just want to highlight here the plumber sweatshirt that Danny has on is actually available in our merch store. So
Hey,
that's
guess
actually-
what? I actually have that long shirt.
Oh, you do?
Nice.
Wow,
I
that's so cool.
I bought that one and the one that was like because Alien X or whatever.
Yeah.
That was the first shirt I bought. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, this scene is I'm really glad that I put it in because when you think about it, in Danny Phantom's perspective, he really has never dealt with anything beyond planetary before. So Eon walking in, he can shift through time and do all of the things. I mean, he's met Clockwork and stuff, but I mean, Clockwork was never really a threat to him. He kind of just was annoyed by Danny. So he's really like taking into perspective that things are on such a much bigger scale than he's ever dealt with before. Whereas with Ben, like he's been galactic, universal for a while. So I kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit, especially for what's coming up in the later chapters. And then, Rook's here. It's kind of showing that, Ben rubs off on Rook because they've been, partners for about 6 years now. Rook is a lot more mellowed out. He's a lot more knowledgeable of Earth culture and everything.
Yeah.
He's wearing khakis.
He is wearing khakis.
He's wearing a watch.
You want to throw
Look
that
at
out
him.
there?
He's a father.
My
of
boy
four.
got that
I'm saying
Rolex,
like
though.
knowing Earth culture is what I mean. Like, yeah, he's wearing khakis and a button down right now.
My boy's got that Rolex though.
Oh,
You see that?
oh.
There he goes.
Nice.
Look at that.
Look at it. Look at it.
Oh damn!
What you think Rook's
That
salary
thing
is?
costs so much.
Oh, one thing that bothered me is you can see a little bit of it in this panel, but I drew like a really nice background right here, and it's covered by all of the speech bubbles. So that speech bubble placement is something I'm always struggling with. But oh well. So here comes the Zim interrogation scene.
Yay.
Foolish meat breeders.
I love that line. As soon as I saw that, I started
Honestly,
laughing.
I didn't even know really what I meant by that. I just felt like the word meat breeder just sounded so funny to me. I was like, yeah, he's gonna
It's definitely something he would say.
Yeah,
definitely.
You honored them so well. I can hear them saying all of this. You honored the original dialogue really well.
Thank you. In fact, this scene went a number of different ways. At first, I was going to have Ben turn into Wrath and try to intimidate him into giving him information.
Oh, God.
Just because I really wanted Wrath in there. But I was like, you know what?
Let me tell you something, little green dude.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question. Is this the scene? Because I've read all of the wiki. Scene where he acquires the DNA of the Urkin.
Yeah, so he does that like quote unquote off screen right after this scene. I really wanted to show, but I was like, you know what? If I do that, I'm gonna be hearing when's Ben gonna turn into an Urkin for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's not, and just say it happened.
That is true.
Which we were really debating whether or not even having it in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like
You
we
guys
all
already had a say, and there's no going back now.
Well, that was before I was here, so
Yeah.
that was
Okay, fair enough.
And the saying was just for kicks because of the whole Goku thing. And then I made it canon just because I was like, why not? And all of a sudden, he's like as popular in the 5YL fandom as like. I think I would argue he's the most popular 5YL original alien, despite not being fully original. People just love the idea of Ben having a Saiyan transformation.
He is pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
Avoid. I don't know what you're talking about.
So here we got Pesky.
Yay,
Pesky
Pesky.
I loved Pesky. I didn't like his voice all too much, to be honest. It's just the.
Isn't that where he took his mouth away in this one?
It's just the purring. No, Terra. The voice itself was fine, but like the purring in between the dialogue or whatever you called it. It's like,
well, they had to differentiate it somehow.
Yeah,
I guess
it just made it harder to like really focus on what they were saying. Like if it happened like almost at the same time as when he was talking, like some aliens did that, like Crash Hopper and Accelerate. They had vocal effects.
Oh yeah,
as
they'll
they were
use
talking.
they'll have like the unedited thing on the top layer, but then they'll load the line with a sound effect and use that as the underlayer. It's really fascinating. It made Siphon sound so much cooler.
Yeah, Siphon was really cool in Omniverse, not gonna lie. But yeah,
Anyway.
I always thought Pesky Dust was dope, and he like people really hated on him. So I was like, in 5YL, I'm gonna make him like top tier as best as
He's
I
got
can.
great power.
He dyed his hair. He's cool now.
Oh, now we're at the Scorch panel.
He got Siphon.
Yes.
I love
remember
this
you
one.
scorched
After
on
that.
this.
Yeah,
I remember
this was before I really understood how tablets work. So I did the outline. I sent it to Scorch. I said, "Can you please shade this to make it look really cool?"
I would no lie buy this and like frame it on my wall. This is like a great art piece. Right
Well, now it's going to be a poster on the store.
Oh, yo!
Yo, it pretty much should be.
Yeah, I will say I like how Scorch shaded this because it's a very dream state type thing because of MU Inez, and I really like it. Which I never really got why his body was out of the containment thing, and I was like, oh wait, they're in his brain. That makes more sense.
Yeah,
I always felt kind of dumb with that. I was like, oh
I'm just gonna take
crap,
it out
and
for
I'm
a
the new
second.
guy.
Don't run away.
I like
He scurries away like a rat.
And I like this new design a lot. I thought the last one was cute, but this one feels more like Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Nice.
That's what I was going for. Well, that's what I try to go for with all the aliens. It comes out better with some transformation than others. But Pesky Dust, I felt like came out really well.
Yeah, it did.
Now we're getting to that conversation.
That one.
The talk.
The talk. When he
Where
has to-
where little alien X's come from.
Yeah. But what was so it's really important to me that Ben acknowledges Alien X, because when people see where this comic is going to go, everyone's going to wonder why he doesn't use him all the time. And philosophy that I like to think about a lot, and it came from the character Ben. So I felt piecing together his reasonings and everything, all of his interactions with his powers, Alien X specifically, and also just transforming in general, is the second you have the power to do anything, it's not a choice of whether or not to use it. It's not a choice where to use it. It's a choice not to use it. Ryan, we were actually talking about this on a stream a couple of days ago.
Yeah, because people kept asking the question of why doesn't Ben go around like restore? The main question was Ben being a bad guy by not restoring Pelorota, Cannonbolt's planet, because it was destroyed by the Tick prior.
Right.
And then people kept saying like, well, he helped restore Petropia and blah 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 blah. He was just kind of there for that. I feel like if he's in the situation,
it wasn't really his intention, right?
yeah, exactly. It shouldn't be he is required to go around and do that. Like the universe, things happen. It's the natural circle of life.
The natural order.
Yeah, it's almost implying as if since he is able to fix everything, then no bad thing should ever happen ever again as Ben Tennyson is alive. And that is a lot of responsibility, and no one should ever put that on one person.
And I love that this webcomic series taps into one of the most philosophical questions humans have ever asked themselves. It's amazing. That's why I love this chapter.
It's a very good chapter.
If you could do anything, would you change everything? It's that kind of thing. It's like
Because then,
Exactly.
Well, a lot of people would normally say, oh, I would only use Alien X for important situations. Well, what do you define as an important situation?
Yeah.
And of course, they'll try to come up with an answer, but the more you get into the specifics, the more you realize every single person's core morality is only based on reflections of how they interpret the world around them. And it really, no one can truly say they are right in terms of like moral decisioning. It's just based on, and with everything that Ben's put upon himself, even Rook is agreeing, like, yeah, if things get too crazy, you should use Alien X, but the more he does it, the more artificial the world becomes. I mean, the whole universe was already destroyed once. So technically, it's already,
I love this line right here, guys. I'm not a god. It's not my place. It's like you're right. You're just a human. You shouldn't like you can have that power, but like goodness, you should let the natural things they do. You don't know better, like whatever's controlling all of it. If it's being controlled at all.
Also,
And they shouldn't even be stoking those flames.
What's up?
Oh yeah, I love this.
The shot of all of
Well,
those
this is just a
aliens.
wallpaper that I threw in there. Normally, I would try to draw something for it, but
There's Monkey.
I think this was like one of the last few pages I worked on specifically because of this background. I was like, all right, in this panel, I'm going to draw a bunch of aliens. I don't feel like it right now. I'll come back to it. And then I think it just got so late in the game. I was like, I'm just going to slap a wallpaper right here and it looks fine.
Nice.
But yeah, so this whole thing in the background, you can download this wallpaper off my website somewhere, I believe.
By the way, Slampede, thank you for using some of those concept drawings for Upchuck. Those were amazing. The fact that they went unused. They went unused. I was so sad. So thank you for repurposing.
You're very welcome. How do you feel about the characters wearing different outfits like almost every chapter?
I like it. I like that they changed their clothes for once. I imagine the last ones were getting stinky. Thank you for. I love a lot of things about Omniverse, but Gwen's hair wasn't it. I like the look you gave her. And I like that you giving them a bunch of things to wear leads to a lot of merch opportunities too. So thank you for that. Yeah,
That is true.
I really want Ben's sweatshirt for the scene. It's really cool.
I want the Super Slammer shirt from Chapter 4.
Oh my god, yeah.
You know, that one we can actually make because it's just a front texture. We can probably make that. Like, we should make that. In fact, that'd be really easy.
Should. Later this month on the merch store.
Yay!
You guys look for news about merch coming up.
Yep.
We drop merch randomly. I forget to announce it.
Yeah.
Now, this scene right here is probably my favorite scene that's been released in all of the chapters so far. I really love the dynamic between Eon and Vlad, mostly because you see, like, when Danny and Vlad are fighting, they're, like, throwing cheeky insults back and forth. Eon's like a very intimidating person in front of Ben, and Ben's like very confident and heroic, but behind the scenes, like
they're human.
Yeah. And this kind of just gets to show, like, at least, like, especially for Vlad, like, everything he is in front of Danny, it's all just a show to him. He's very theatrical. He likes playing up the role of being, you know, I'm Vlad Plasmius and everything. He even gave himself a name. Yeah. But this kind of just shows their perspective on the idea of whether or not godhood, if obtainable, should be used. So you kind of just see Vlad here roasting Ben, calling him a thick-headed man-child. I felt like I really wanted to go hard with their different views on each other, just to show like I don't really want the comic to be biased on one side or the other, like be about the good guys versus the bad guys. It's the heroes versus the alliance. So they're both
non-conventional. It makes it a very non-conventional, fresh story, and I like that too.
Thank you. And now they're in Dream World.
I love this whole sequence that you drew with the origami.
They're in the beginning of the Yu-Gi-Oh intro.
Your move.
It's time to... Vlad, I've brought you here because you're a second-rate duelist.
I brought you to the Shadow Realm.
Fourth-rate.
What if they both just got dual discs from here? They just interrupted the scene.
Oh, God.
Young Eon does look a bit like a Yu-Gi-Oh character.
He does, because he looks Egyptian with those robes.
It's your move.
You can see, I think I pointed this out already, but his robe is his ghost form's face.
Yeah, it's his face.
Oh, that's
nice.
And Eon.
Yeah, I was taking a look at that earlier.
I like your poncho, Vladimir.
He's trying to put the moves on him.
Hey, Kuro, you ever been thinking about
Eon.
since the fact that we're going over this and revealing so much new information that was before, you ever thought about pointing out some things, more things that people may not have seen?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Easter eggs and such.
Easter eggs?
Yeah.
There's some Easter eggs I don't want to point out until the whole series is over, but there is more Easter eggs I could point out on this map, on these maps. Oh man, I pictured this so vividly in my head, and I felt like I'd never be able to capture it because it's a comic and it's not animated, but I really wanted the scene to be like so...
Dude, you did it so well.
Like I wanted Vlad walking into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory as a little kid, like seeing
Come with me and you'll be...
It looks like a comic novelization of Doctor Strange. I really like it.
Ooh, okay, that's a good one. Yeah, it is.
What do we got here? We got the tree from Thor. I forgot what it's called.
Okay.
Yggdrasil?
We got the Konoha symbol. Yeah,
yeah.
Yggdrasil. We got... I know we got more. I always just don't really think about these and just kind of do them.
I know for the longest time, I thought one of them that you did was the map that Garnet destroys in Steven Universe. And I came to find out it wasn't. I was like, oh.
I could have sworn I put like the map from Avatar in here of all 4 nations. Maybe I meant to and I forgot.
That Avatar. I thought you meant the blue guy's Avatar.
He grabs Vlad's ponytail. It's like, let's connect.
That's
He's like, I can show you better this way.
That's not PG.
Not like that.
We got
That's what it is, though.
No, because they use it to ride the horses.
Vlad's not a horse.
It's a space horse, you know what I mean?
Well, Eon rode Animo in Chapter 6.
Yeah, he did.
He sure did.
Here's the bat symbol. Here's,
nice.
The POTUS.
I like the folded shirt.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
What's the shirt with a tie? What's that?
I think I think that was just something I wanted to draw. Like I looked up a whole lot of origami stuff.
That's Mr. Crocker.
Yes, that's Mr. Crocker. There's a Yoda in here somewhere. Here's one of them. A couple of them I repeated. Like I think you can see like 5 bats in here. Here he is behind here, but there's a much clearer Yoda somewhere.
That's Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, Mr. Krabs here.
Sponge boy. SpongeBob me boy. SpongeBob me boy. Where am I? Money.
You're in the infinite void, Mr. Krabs.
Oh, there's Yoda. Cool.
Here's one of those.
Is that the Tesseract?
Oh, it might be somewhere.
Tesseract.
Oh, it's just one of those
Yeah.
like origami boxes. Like, whenever I see someone making origami, they either make the box, they make the crane, or they make, where is it? This thing, the fortune teller.
Okay.
So I was like, you gotta have those in there.
The most
This
powerful
thing
origami
took
pieces.
forever to draw. I actually did
That's
this
so cool.
full
That is
scale
really
That
and
is
then
dope.
shrunk it down and changed the angle of it, expecting to like use this more, and it's only shown once right here, and it's really tiny. But
This
it's
is my
supposed to be,
DNA.
like,
It's
the
made of
DNA
paper.
of the universe, and I really like this
This is
analogy
my-
because I wanted to explain how much hacks ecto energy really is on the universe.
Yeah.
And the only
I
way
like
could
I
think
like
of
the
what's up.
visual. No, I was gonna say I really like the visual of using the water with the
Yeah,
on the
very
paper.
When I first saw it, I thought he was going to like hot water on his hand, and I wanted to see if you had a burn there afterwards, or if you would go like.
If you really want to be part of the alliance, we gotta brand you.
You gotta burn you. You want to get in the
I've got
club,
burns
you
all
gotta
over my
burn
body.
your
I
hand.
need one now too.
We
You
got
gotta
a pretty
put the kettle on your
unconventional,
hand.
a very unconventional method with the teapot.
Yeah. Let me boil some tea. Do you want to be burned with jasmine or Earl Grey?
You must make tea in the palm of your hand, scalding hot tea.
Yeah. Mash the leaves and hold it tight. 3 minutes. Make sure not to leave the bag in too long, because if it steeps too long, it gets too bitter.
Also,
And don't
2 sugars,
sweat.
please.
Don't sweat. I don't want salty tea.
I was just about to say that. If it tastes salty, I'll spin it on you, bro.
If it tastes salty, I'm leaving you here.
Jesus.
I'll never see the real world.
You'll never leave the shadow.
What an awful person.
Yeah, Vlad, we really need that guy. I was just messing with him.
I love the shot of the ghost zone that you did as well. This is amazing looking.
Thank you. Did I get your help with this? This is something I would
Not a-
definitely get
no,
your
no,
help
no.
with now.
This chapter is the only thing I did with this was the designs for the fusions at the end of it. Aside from that, I didn't do anything else with chapter 7.
Man,
Mm.
I couldn't even
Uh,
imagine thinking
that was-
now.
Like you showed me pages I think like 2 days before the chapter release, but other than that, I didn't see any of this before the release.
Oh wow.
That's how new I was.
Wow.
Now you know all of our secrets.
I do.
Oh.
I've even made some myself.
Mhm.
Ooh, that's the funnest part.
Yeah, I know, right?
Teasing the audience.
And then here's so another thing that I wanted to touch on with ecto energy is if I really ham it up that like it's the ultimate thing in the entire omniverse. Like, why isn't anyone doing it with anything? And I was kind of just like, you know what? That's a great question. I'm just gonna. There is no reason. Everyone's just kind of an idiot in Danny's dimension. Well, not really. They have no idea. It's like playing a video game where you can level up, you just never know you can, so you don't collect XP.
Mhm.
True.
So
True.
there's a whole bunch of level 1s running around his universe that could be like level 1000s, and they're just not collecting the XP. And he's just like, all of your gods are dressing up in goofy costumes and being ridiculous. So what are you doing?
Levitating
You
cardboard
have no
boxes.
idea the power you possess.
You don't know the power of the ecto side.
So here he is being really passionate and everything. Because I really want people to like know where Eon's coming from. I don't really care if they sympathize with him. I just want them to understand why his quest for power is so important. I still haven't really delved too much into it. I gotta get chapter 9 out. But we'll get there.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Anyhow.
So this page I plan to draw faces on, and as you can see, there's 4 cards, but there's only 3 other people he could be talking about. And I was gonna put Skulker on one of the cards to like hint that he's coming soon in the next chapter. But we didn't have our Skulker design done in time, and I was just like, fine, I'm not putting faces on any of the cards. Which kind of ruins the whole concept of the cover. But
They're Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
yeah,
Oh yeah, back again, guys.
you ready to duel, boys?
They're all blue eyes.
No, he's about to summon the God card. Those are sacrifices.
Yeah, those are just. He's going to get Obelisk.
Oh, plus this transition here I like a lot
Oh,
too.
you know how I did
Oh,
this?
yeah.
I looked up a
I remember.
YouTube, video that showed me how to do it. Specifically called the Infinity War snap.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
I
god.
learned how to do it, and I completely
Glad
forgot
I don't feel
afterwards.
so good.
Yeah. And then this is where Vlad agrees that he's gonna kill Ben on one condition that I haven't said yet, so we're gonna skip that.
On one condition.
Here's I added in the beard line just because people always complain about Ben's beard because it looks kind of bad, and it's like, it's kind of the point.
Yeah.
I love that you gave him a beat up trucker hat, this high general of the plumbers, and he looks like someone you pick up on the side of the road.
I pushed for Grandpa Max to be scruffy. You used to be cleaner than that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, right now he's in a trench on some alien planet fighting off the Limax, so he's not looking too hot right now.
Got it. What do all these meters do, Kuro?
Ooh.
Let's see. This tells you how far above sea level you are, but they're in a pocket dimension, so it's not really doing anything.
Okay.
He's got 7 unread messages.
Oh my god, I didn't look in this far.
Oh, I didn't see that.
On some websites, it's hard to. In fact, if you read this on the Facebook version, Facebook's image uploader is horrible. You'd never see these details. He's got a camera function here.
That's his TikTok app.
Yeah. He's got TikTok. Ben's on TikTok. He's doing a quick floss.
They do that in the reboot. We don't need
my
that.
God.
Max, before I beat the crap out of Eon, we gotta upload a split screen.
Let me take a selfie. That's a good sound.
We gotta do hit or miss.
Yeah.
Come on.
What's that safe? Is that his password app?
Yep. That's where he keeps his playlist search history. I guess.
Cool.
Here's a dictionary.
Does he have Chrome on the object?
Chrome. He's got
Chroma Stone.
What would be a Galvin version of Chrome?
Oh my god.
Man, just
Leave.
Fog.
He's got stone.
hut.
Yeah, hut.
They live in hut.
He's got frog.
He's got frog.
You just hear Asma's voice going, "You've got frogs."
Oh god.
Oh man,
Not
I
again.
hate this
These are never
page
nice.
because I was still using round.
I'm the leader of the planet. I do the VO for yeah.
Brandon Tennyson.
What are you saying about this panel?
Oh, I hate this page because I was still using round speech bubbles and it looks so ridiculous. Like I don't know, it's probably just me, but I don't know.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with
Yeah,
it.
it's probably is just me. I just I don't like all of this like white space right here in here, just because I figured the bigger the speech bubbles are, the more art it's covering up. So what I've been doing for chapter 9 lately is I do the sketch, then I add the speech bubbles, so that everything I outline, I already know if it's going to be covered or not, so I don't even bother.
I love that background for the flashback.
Oh, the dots?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's cool.
I forgot how I did that.
No, it looks great. And a creator that can't self-evaluate is stuck. So it's good that you're making these evaluations, but we think it's great.
Thank you. Here's younger Max. He's still old though.
He's been old his whole life.
Still
to-
old younger Max.
Listen up, Ben. This is where your Adam's apple.
Yep.
Now listen up, Ben. We're both gonna have beards in the future.
This is this is how far it's going to grow out.
I just want to replace all the dialogue with Ben asking Max how he grew such a dope beard.
We can do that.
He's like,
we can
"Well,
do that in the
you see,
abridged
Ben,
series.
Some people are just born beautiful, and then there's you.
You're not one of them.
There's a reason your watch
my
changes
God.
your face.
Why are we flaming Ben now? Why is Max flaming Ben
You
now?
guys are evil.
No, I love Ben.
No, that's Rick and Morty. He's just roasting more.
You know what, Ben? You just.
Anyway,
what was I saying? Oh, so I really wanted to get the point across that his catchphrase, "It's hero time," began as a coping mechanism for when he was young, and he would say it to himself. To
I
make himself
love
feel
that.
better.
I love that.
I
That's
wasn't
another
sure how to-
reason I love this chapter.
Thank you. I still felt like I overextend. Like, look at this whole trail of speech bubbles. Like, I was trying to find a way to say it as little words as possible, and I felt like I couldn't do it, especially because it had to sound like it was coming from Ben and not just factual information.
Yeah, I remember. I told you, I was like, man, I think you should put it all out there. Like, it's very important text. Like, if people aren't thinking, they might not read it. Like, this, they're lost. Like, you're telling a pretty important story here, and this is a very important part of it. So,
yeah. I love how you take concepts from the original series, expand upon them to make them like better.
and he thought of everything. It almost seems like he thought of literally something that you heard about before, and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot underneath this, and then it expands.
He probably thought about why we've never seen Spitter in Omniverse too, huh, Kuro?
So let's set this
anyway.
Eon just became ultimate. All hope is lost, and Ben steps forward and transforms from Atomics to Spitter and says,
But Spitter's 50 feet tall.
The day is saved.
Thank you, Lord Spitter.
He just comes out and screams, Spitter!
Yeah,
you know, it's like, oh, God is everywhere.
And then you go to some place really far away, and just in the distance you see like this huge tidal wave form.
Yeah.
Kevin starts saying,
over.
"What is that?"
That's
cut
how
off.
Chapter 9 ends, guys. I didn't want to ruin it, but I mean, we all missed it, so.
Oh,
They
man.
all drown.
Oh God.
When Max says right here, "You're only as good as the hero you think you are," I don't even remember how I came up with that. I felt like, was it one of you?
Yeah, that's
guys?
a great line.
It was before I
don't
was there,
believe-
so I know it was.
I don't remember saying anything.
I've been writing this scene for like, well, not anymore, but like I was writing it for like 2 years, and that line came to me one day, and like, the idea for Ben to say it back to Danny later on in the chapter, I didn't even think of that until I was on that scene, and I felt like it just worked so well.
It does. It was. The scene is so heartfelt, and especially when he starts, when his grandpa tells him he can do anything.
Yeah.
Like, geez.
Oh, man.
I like the whole pulling off the beanie thing too. That just adds so much more weight to it. He's just tearing his beanie off his head.
You know,
I wanna
actually
know
did
what
that
could-
because I just wanted him to take off the hat. I was tired of drawing him with the hat.
Good.
But what's
That's
up?
good.
I wanna know what conditioner he uses to keep his hair looking that good after he takes off a hat. Damn.
It's just
It's
so
Spitter
thick.
slime.
That's what he uses the form for.
That's what he uses it for. So here Ben is back in from crying. He's all good now.
I love that
Danny's sobering up.
He can do pictures with it now. I love all the extra features to it.
Thank you. I was one thing I didn't like about this is actually
The tiny eyes.
No, I love doing that. Shut up.
Oh, I was asking. I wasn't saying it was bad.
Looking like a pop figure.
Hang on. I'm trying to find the page. All right, chapter 5, page 14. So from here, you can see on their display, it's from Ben's point of view, specifically the Omnitrix, where it would be on Gravitak's forehead when they're going over the Omnitrix footage. And I wanted to do the same thing here, but I figured from the point of view of Ben, you really wouldn't see what's going on. So it's kind of just like, where's Ben getting these photos? And I always hated that kind of stuff. Like whenever in cartoons, have you guys seen Young Justice season 3?
I've seen most of it.
Most of it.
All right.
Not
Well, I don't want
yet.
to spoil anything, but at one point they're watching something on a monitor, and I'm thinking, how the heck do they have this footage? And it's literally just clips from a previous episode, and I've just always disliked that, and here I am doing it. So I guess I understand why now. You just have to.
The Omnitrix has camera drones, and you can't say
It's like the ones that Ben 23 have.
You just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little nano camera drones.
God, I hate drawing Rook's face. It never comes out right.
Where's his other eye?
Oh my god.
He's always looked weird. Oh, hang on. The worst time he's doing was in chapter 2. Let me bring, and it's from the same angle too, so you can see how horrible.
Got a wide bridge there, don't he?
He's like, Ben, can you guess the exact length between my eyes?
Ben, dude, please push my eyes back into place.
Here it is. Here's chapter 2's. So at least compared
Oh,
to chapter
God.
2, it looks better. You know what? I even think I did the same angle in chapter 9.
Oh no.
Let me bring that.
Ben
up.
dudes,
I'm gonna
they
have
are.
This is
they
Rick's
are-
best angle,
are
clearly.
Martian.
I don't know why I keep drawing him from this angle. It's just like, the angle.
You're practicing to get better.
Yeah. Let me.
That's why he ain't doing it every time because he does the same. So I was like,
Anyway,
Here's the same angle in chapter 9, which is unreleased.
He's like, wow.
It looks
Yeah, this is
better
the
now,
highlight
but
of
it
the
looks. I don't know. It looks.
It's
like,
it looks a lot better.
He looks bewildered.
I think
like
the mouth
it.
is too small. Well, like I always try to like make the mouths look like they're in different positions because I notice a lot of times in comics if a character's talking, their mouth is either open one way or closed another way. So I always try to make them have very different mouth shapes in between things. Like they caught them in the middle of dialogue. It's not really even noticeable though.
no, it
where
is
am I?
noticeable now.
Like right here, I felt like this was a very interesting mouth shape because it's kind of like
Yeah,
smaller. It looks
that's
like he's
good.
making like a Y sound. And
yeah.
he's not. He's saying can't what. So never mind.
Well, why? What?
What?
I like it.
This is just the same background over and over again to save time.
He
thank
looks
God.
sassy.
This is a panel redraw from Vlad's first episode in season 1, episode 7 of Danny Phantom, I believe.
Nice.
Fighting in the library. More interesting mouth shapes. Ben passes on the advice to Danny, trying to inspire him to really put him in charge because Ben realizes that Vlad's ecto energy seems to potentially counter everything he has going for him. So if they have someone who can do the same thing on his side, they should probably put him on the front line.
Yeah.
So they're sending Danny into war. Everyone else takes a step
Just smack him on the butt and say,
Just
you
let
got it, bro.
happen.
But it's okay. They gave him 2 bottles of vodka to take
Yeah.
with him.
and
so it's
a
fine.
shirt.
In the shirt.
And
He got a
and
free shirt.
Free shirt, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the sweatshirt will protect him.
And 5 Chuck E. Cheese tokens for afterwards.
For after.
Just 5. We're
If
running a
you
tight budget
survive,
here.
you can go do the skee ball.
Yeah. You can have any prize you want as long as you win enough tickets.
Look at this prize
Here's
I
my
got. It's
favorite
uniform mode.
Here it is.
I love this transition.
Oh, this is dope.
I love the circuit board aura you have around.
Oh, he's checked his email since last time. He only has 2
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Yeah, look at that.
Oh,
He
nice.
spent after Max.
He's leaving somebody already.
It was just like the Mormon church or something, because he signed up for a newsletter.
You're like, man, I'm in a pocket dimension. How are they still getting me out here? We'll find you.
Please, can you explain some of these modes? Because I'm so curious. Unless
stealth
it's like
mode
spoilers.
turns the Omnitrix invisible. Because I always
Okay.
felt like, how can Ben keep this secret and no one question this like big ass gauntlet on his wrist? Like I'm trying to
Right.
think realistically. The Omnitrix is probably very uncomfortable to have. Imagine sleeping with it, showering with it, and everything. So I figured at least having
Yeah.
a mode where it can like
Bathing
disappear
with it.
would be good. Classic mode makes it look like the original Omnitrix. Factory mode,
Right.
it takes out the outer shell and everything for Azimuth to operate on it. Protection mode sort of develops like very basic tier automatic defenses for him in case he needs it.
The Omnitrix has a gun.
I was going to say, what's an example?
Let's say he has it activated and he's walking one direction. Someone comes up behind him and tries to shoot him. It forms a shield. Or like,
Oh, okay.
if he jumps off of a cliff or something, it can maybe, I don't know,
Through
shoot
like
something
hard
out for him
light
to land
constructs?
on. Or yeah, something like that. I don't know. There's a billion things it could do.
Would it sense the danger and maybe turn them into something that could survive it?
That is possible too.
That's a good
I'm
idea.
just all the different applications.
Oh, and down
that
here is
could
meme
go
mode.
with it. Meme mode?
That didn't mean anything. I needed something to get cut off
Okay.
to show like the list keeps going, and I just typed in the word meme mode because I knew
Meme
no one
mode.
would really be able to decipher it. And
He
the
turns
first
into
day,
Fro.
night this came out, someone sent me a message saying, "What the heck is meme mode?" I'm like, "Man, people are good at this. I can't have nothing."
It makes all of his aliens look like awesome.
Yeah. But no, that
I
you
will-
can consider this like
Why
not
does it-
really there.
Why doesn't he have protection mode on all the time? Does it drain the battery?
I don't know. To be honest, he really should have it on all of the time. But then again, why doesn't he switch aliens if he mistransforms? So I'd say
I'm
it's a character
figuring
flaw.
it would draw power away from how much time he could stay as an alien, because it has to take power from something, right?
That's good. Oh, you know what? Maybe protection mode is only able to be used when he's in human form.
I can see that.
Interesting.
Yeah. There you go.
Sounds like a good limit.
I was gonna say one thing I really like about the whole transformation into the uniform mode. It looks a little bit like a galvanic mechamorph, and I kind of
does.
like that. That's a technological thing in the Omnitrix, in a sense.
Is the head spinning around?
Yes.
Is
I'm so glad that
that's so
got
cool.
that got
I
across.
never noticed
Because
that.
it's supposed to look like this. The Omnitrix is
Spinning.
recalibration
right?
thing, where like it
Mhm.
gathers itself in the thing and then it starts spinning. So
Made it smaller.
That's,
That was
it's
so
so
cool.
hard to show motion in comics sometimes, like with like subtle things like this. If it's not a full
I always-
punch or something.
I always have like little motion lines around it, like little curves that are supposed to be like visible wind for just a second.
I've been trying to use like the environment to create motion lines in the scene. A lot with I feel like I'm talking a little bit too much about chapter 9, but with a lot of, like,
Well,
if
7.
somebody moves against the sand or something, sand will get kicked
Oh,
up
no.
and you'll see wind and stuff like that to try to emphasize the motion more.
That's cool.
Stuff like that. I'm really
Yeah.
trying to like play into them interacting with the atmosphere around them. So here
Now-
he is in a. Oh, I should get rid of that.
I had a
uniform
I had a
mode.
I had I'm sorry to have all these questions. It's
No,
just
of course, that's why you're here.
it's so interesting. The gauntlet. Is the black part like fabric and then the green part's like metal? How does that separate into
It's like a very thick rubber. I don't know. I imagine.
It's like the suits that the aliens themselves wear.
Yeah, exactly. Like I
Oh,
imagine uniform mode. Like if human was a transformation, you know how the
Yeah.
Omnitrix gives each transformation uniform. If human was a transformation, this is what it would be. That's kind of my inspiration behind it.
where I'm wondering where the circuits and like mechanics of the Omnitrix land, if that's like all
Inside his
jumpsuit
arm.
there.
It's also to try
Inside.
to emphasize that he transforms mentally now because there's no buttons or anything. Because people always said if he has master control, why doesn't he transform? I mean, why does he still hit the dial? And that's really just for, the non-Ben 10 fans reading the comic who might not understand what's happening. If like, why do they keep talking to this all these different creatures as if it's the same person?
If it is full on rubber, he's going to have like a bad rash. That thing.
He's
can't
got his
breathe.
regular pants on
You
still.
gotta lotion.
No, I'm talking about the
On
arm.
the
That thing can't
Oh,
breathe.
actually, that's a good point. Ugh.
lotion it up.
You guys know Galvin science. It'll be all right.
Yeah, he
All
has
right,
moisture
We're gonna give them
mode,
all
he
rubber
has
suits.
rehydration
Because
mode.
gray matter. Fine.
No, the gray man goes like, we don't know what rashes are. What is that? What do you mean you have one?
It just
All
works.
your clothes aren't made of rubber? What are you talking about?
Well, he's different. He secretes mucus. We don't. Anyway,
Oh, here's an awesome
I
shot.
love
Oh,
this.
the
I
big
love
boy
these
scene.
silhouettes. Yeah.
I feel like I drew Kevin's body a little wonky here. I wanted it to be like a looking up shot, but
Kevin, you need to hit the gym, man.
yeah. This shot was fun.
This is really cool one
I
too.
love that. Yeah.
Then I wanted to give everybody their own vanity page.
I liked this a lot.
Danny's
Nice.
falling out the sky. Gwen's going magic girl mode.
And I adore that you use the Ben 10,000 original series design for.
Thank you. This design for her was done by that guy we saw in the video earlier, Alex Gotro.
Alex is amazing.
Yeah, he was really good with this design. I think he only did one version of it, and then I was just like, nope, that's good. We just stuck to it.
Yeah.
Then Kevin, I've always wanted him to use both his matter absorbing and his alien absorbing abilities at the same time. And it was actually Ryan who came up with the idea that like when he'd absorb things, they would kind of just sort of replicate through his body instead of just the material coating him. I felt like that was such a great idea.
This is my first visible contribution to the series,
Yay!
and I love this one a lot. I really like. I like to.
Is that a tooth?
Yes.
Yes,
That's a-
it's an Arborian Pelorota tooth, and then scales from Koizen, which I forget what Koizen species
it
is at the
was,
moment.
something that began with an F. Maybe
The dragon one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
sea
poisony
dragon.
boy. The sea dragon.
And here's
I
Big
love this
Boy
one.
Ben
Big
coming
boy
down. This is post quarantine Ben up here.
coming down. this is COVID free Ben.
Yeah.
Oh god!
He comes down.
I found a cure.
Oh, I guess I did do some of the sand effects back in chapter 7, but I don't know. This doesn't look as powerful to me as I would probably do it now, because if something that large is coming down, the whole ground would erupt. So
I always
yes.
thought it would have been really funny if Danny just turned around and was like, "Oh my god, what is that?
That was close.
Like I didn't even know you had this thing. How big are you? 60 feet. Holy crap!"
And then the big spread page.
I love this
This is
page.
awesome.
Clap, clap, clap.
This is
Kevin's
really cool.
pose is so cool. I love this new version of Kevin and how his powers just change him so much more. It's just, I mean, especially the combination with the cannonball and Koizen, because man, it just comes together so well. Look at this.
Dude, as
He's
soon as
got
as
his
soon as Rob told me the idea of comboing the poison spikes with the hard shell of cannonball, I was just like, dude, yes, I
Oh, yeah, you
love
guys
that
gotta-
idea.
Yeah, I still remember your original concept art for that.
Yeah, guys, check the website for Chapter 7's concept art. You guys got to see Ryan's passes at Kevin's arm. He did a couple in really neat ones. It was hard to choose.
Yeah,
I think I did like 6 or 7 of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Oh, we can turn that page off. So here they are. All just waiting. You can see Gers right here, just because, you know, I wanted
Here
to
too.
start a thing where like Gur and Animo start becoming buddies, but there's so many like small character things that I just couldn't do because it would have taken so much time to draw. So I'm really hoping that in the alternate universe that 5YL gets to be animated, I get to add in all the little character moments too, instead of just straight plot, fight. Ben's crying out here.
Yeah.
Fight.
Just crying over here right now. Back to
Ben cries. Fight, plot.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that
Danny
was there. In fact, this chapter and chapter 4 were probably the most like really character driven chapters, despite still like exorbitantly pushing the plot. And Danny has upgraded yet again. Every time he goes ghost in 5YL, he changes ever so slightly.
All the swamp fire.
Yep. Now his hair is flaming. He's got these fully green eyes. His D glows. You might want to get that checked. All these things
gonna say.
teleport in.
I love the alternate Ben scene.
I like
That-
the way you phrased that.
I had a lot of fun designing Omnitrixes for these boys.
Yeah, I want to know more about that.
If you go on the website with the concept art, I have like actual like diagrams of them and a little bit of info on them.
Yeah, he actually came up like how each individual Omnitrix works. Like I honestly just wanted him to throw me some designs.
The
for the
Superboy
shot. He's
one
like, "Here's
is
a masterpiece." I'm like, oh my god, Ryan.
no. I would say the funniest one in my opinion is the Superboy one because like it has like a crystal Kryptonian technology is mostly crystals. The dial pops out as a crystal and he just like stabs it somewhere into himself to transform. That was
know
my
what?
first idea
Really?
on it.
I'm gonna
That's
pull
funny.
that up.
I like that. Yeah, those were the first couple ideas on it. I would say
think it's
the
this one.
favorite. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. Okay. So
It
he's
pops
got
out
right
and he
here.
stabs it into himself.
That's cool.
Wherever he stabs it is where the Omnitrix symbol is for the alien. I'll say my favorite one that I did was the I can't remember what I named it. It was like the Shogun one, the one that Sasuke Ben has.
This one.
That one, yes, that's my favorite one because I
Yeah, this
actually
one
did
was
little
really
mechanics for how it would work.
Oh, that's dope.
Thank you.
I like that.
I want to actually make something like it because how I did it is it works on clockwork type of technology, so you could actually make one of these. You probably won't turn into an alien, but
A couple of people are
Probably.
noting that the stream is a bit laggy for them. I just want to ask the general audience real quick. How many of you is it lagging for? I'm going to try closing out some programs. Maybe distribute the processing power of my computer a little bit more narrowed down. Alright, seems like it's not too laggy. Or at least no one's really caring that much anymore.
Man, it doesn't seem
Here
like
comes
it's
Technos.
lagging.
I added this page specifically because I wanted to show off all of Alex's. Oh, I'm sorry, not Alex. Whoops, I was back in the old. Whoops. It's like when you call one girlfriend another girlfriend's name.
Yeah, no, I know. Okay.
Because like once he showed me that all of these different Omnitrixes function their own way, I'm like, I have to show it at least a little.
I forgot about the Fallout one too. The you spin the light bulb that's on the wrist and then you smack the big dial on the thing and it starts mutating you from your hand up.
That's so cool.
I really liked doing these. I think this was like the second or third thing I worked on in general for the comic, and these were a lot of fun, especially because I don't normally do like weapons or assets and stuff until I joined in this.
And then I made.
Then it's just experiment 10.
It's just on his head.
Like, pop.
Just on his head.
Then the first nod towards the Generator Rex
The
franchise.
answer is nanites.
Nanites.
I am Technus, master of nanites.
Yep. And so Technus's all of his red parts are glowing orange now to sort of play up the nanites thing, but because everything is slightly tinted since they're outside, I felt like that wasn't really clear because it might have looked like it's just orange just based on the color palette. So yeah, if I could go back, I would just want to adjust a few of the little special effect things too. But then again, everybody always feels like they can improve their old work. It's best to just leave it for what it is.
Yep.
Now
Here they
check
are
this out.
transforming.
I love
This
this
is very
scene.
fun. Spent like 2
This
days
is
on
so
this.
cool.
This
I
one
remember
looks
when you
painful.
sent me this. Dude, I remember when you
painful?
sent me this. It was crazy. Oh, I love it.
Gosh. Look at that.
Oh god, I love these.
And then the
He
last
just
shot,
psychically
all the villains.
My big
There
boys.
they are.
Front and center.
I love.
It's time for the party.
I was so happy when you approached me and told me this is what I was going to be doing. I was immediately like, yes. It's.
I love that
God,
they use. I love that you use Waka Trout.
No, that was Speed Demon and the Waka Trout one are Alex's. My two are oh god, what were their names? Smash Mouth on the right and then Super Size on the left.
Smash Mouth.
And mine isn't a fusion. It's just Vampire.
It's a big old holographic.
Hologram for Vampire.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. It's just a hologram.
Yeah, so this one is called Experiment 10. He can like he's not he didn't start like this. Basically, Eon operated on him trying to figure out a way to bypass his body issues every time he time travels. So he, for a long period of time, he would experiment on the Ben bodies before soul possessing them to see if he can sort of make a permanent body. This was a failed experiment, and it's the only one that survived.
I never noticed he only had one hand.
Yep.
Why'd I never notice that?
So
Yeah,
I got the idea that he cut off his Omnitrix arm and fused it into his mind.
Oh
So
god.
it's like all artificial.
Nice.
That's oh god.
Yep.
You didn't even get a Luke hand.
Yeah, Green Lantern would have been able to defeat this Ben because he didn't have the auto transform function.
Yeah.
He just
He already didn't have the.
he got cut.
God damn it.
Yeah, this is a fight you can win.
Yeah.
This is just the Ben from that Green Lantern
Yeah, in
fight.
fact, he's using,
Oh my
using
gosh.
light constructs too.
That's right. Oh my god, guys! It all comes together.
Yep.
Death Battle, we thought of it 2 years before you.
All right.
Oh,
so there we go. There's the whole
That's so
chapter
cool.
7 review.
Oh,
So cool.
I love this chapter.
I love this series.
Thank you. Yeah, it was really fun going over that with you, Kellen. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having
We
me.
really appreciate you, man.
No, thank you so much. You're such an awesome dude, man.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
No, thank you guys. You've created something really special, and it brings back a lot of memories, good new ones for me, and I love especially how much you guys put into the lore. So thank you guys for all your work on this.
Of course. Well, thank you for all those kind words.
Of course.
Hershey, what do you got next for us?
Well, I'd just like to, along with thanking Kellen, I just want to thank all of the fans for the support for 5 years later. We would not be here right now at this very moment if it wasn't from all of you reading the comic, liking it so much, sharing it around, doing fan art for it, making videos for it. There's people who come and ask all the time, what can we do with 5 years later? And the answer to that will always be, you can do anything with it. It's for you guys to just create with whatever you're thinking of, because we just really appreciate you for being here this whole time and supporting us and supporting the comic, so we can do things like this and just have just a really big celebration. All of that is led up to us being very strong as the Ink Tank. We're looking forward to a very strong 2020 despite the current pandemic. And I'm just looking forward to being able to work with all of you guys, Kuro, Fro, or Ash, and continue to create amazing things and bring joy and happiness to people. And I hope you guys feel the same way.
Absolutely.
And we will be revealing the Chapter 9 release date very soon. But first, we'd like to hear from the Ben 10 fans themselves about how 5YL may have impacted them, along with Ben 10 and the Danny Phantom franchise.
Ben 10 has made me a better artist.
And Danny Phantom was all about, this kid who finally got ghost powers. And, you had to accept that. Even though he didn't want these powers, the world needed him.
I love Danny Phantom and Ben 10. They inspired me to make my own series.
Ben 10 basically helped me to escape all the bad things that were going on at the time for me.
When I was little, shows like Ben 10 and Danny Phantom got me into art and storytelling, even if I didn't really create anything. But seeing 5YL grow and develop over the years has inspired me to come out with my own works. And for that, I thank you, Ink Tank.
I started watching Ben 10 when I was 3 years old, so needless to say, it shaped my life in a lot of ways that I don't think I can explain. But then 5 years later came along, and it was the best comic I think I've ever read.
I'm a huge fan of 5 years later. It's an amazing series.
5 years later has just done an amazing job of bringing them together and bringing it to the next level.
I've always wanted to see its character design and universe turn it to the max, so I was really excited when I first found this comic because it's just the right amount of pure insanity.
Your team makes an awesome continuation of the TV shows and always manage to go beyond expectations and entertainment.
Seeing 5 years later treating it with such respect is like a dream come true, and the closest we'll ever get to an adult run of Ben 10.
To see this group of people take it to another level.
I love the bold new directions you went in.
Love the characters, love the story, love everything about it.
I love your videos and I love all the art designs.
And the community surrounding the whole project is amazing, and I'm glad to be able to share in it with people.
It also allowed me to make connections with so many amazing people. 5 years later has been nothing but a positive impact on my life.
It's incredibly well made, and it's even inspired some of my own artistic endeavors, including 5 years later characters being modded into other games.
It's an amazing comic, and it's the reason I keep on drawing and trying to improve.
I'd like to thank 5 years later for inspiring me to continue my passion. So thank you, Ink Tank. You really helped me out.
If it wasn't for 5 years later, my life would never have changed like it has today.
5YL is important to me, and I definitely wouldn't be where I am today without it.
5 years later is a great crossover idea, and I wish this were to happen in real life.
What you've done with 5 years later is nothing but incredible.
Thank you for bringing back Ben 10 and Danny Phantom. It's great to see the shows coming back better than ever.
Your 5 years later project was amazing.
Love the crossover, love everything for it, and I can't wait to see how it ends.
I can't wait for what happens in Chapter 9.
I cannot wait to read more of the comic as it goes further.
I cannot wait for Chapter 9.
I don't know what's going to happen next, but worst case scenario, Ben can use Alien X.
It's such an awesome comic series, and I love it. Please make more.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kuro the artist, for giving us a masterpiece.
Thank you, Ink Tank.
I can't thank the series enough.
Thanks for your amazing work, and congratulations on your 3-year anniversary on 5 years later.
Oh, sorry, it's hero time.
It's hero time.
Going goes hero time, and as Kuro says, keep it fizzy.
Keep it fizzy.
Congrats on 3 years. Amazing comic, and keep up the great work.
Thank you for bringing back the magic of the original series, getting me back into the series, and making the community of both shows stronger than ever. Thank you 5 years later. Have a good day.
Thank you to everyone who submitted a video for us to use. The full unedited clips will be uploaded to our second channel, The Rust Bucket. Now, I'm sure you're all eager to know Chapter 9's release date, right? I mean, that's what everyone's here for, right? Well, that's quite a bit of anticipation just for one date. I feel like we should reward you guys for keeping the hype alive for so long. Maybe we should do something, I don't know, a little crazy. Not just the release date. Maybe, I don't know, release one new video every day for an entire week leading up to the chapter's release? You know what? Yeah, no. I like that. That sounds like a good idea. So, let's do it the last week of April. Starting Monday, April 27th, we'll have a new trailer uploaded to our YouTube channel and website. The YouTube version will feature an extended trailer that also delves into our new Patreon reward system, which will take effect the same day. Then, on Tuesday, April 28th, you guys will be treated to a brand new episode of Freeze Frame, based on the recently, and sadly concluded hit series, Steven Universe. And in that video, make sure you watch out for Fro the Bro the Fro, as one of the new hosts on the main channel for this one. Then, on Wednesday, April 29th, the new Freeze Frame episodes continue with a special Ben 10 episode breaking down all the functions of the Omnitrix. We're talking functions, features, playlists, all the specifics, everything that people keep asking us for. Then on Thursday, April 30th,
join me as we plunge into the void and explore ever-expanding multiverse on Sonorosia, the home planet to Ben Tennyson's transformations, Echo Echo, and Disc Jockey.
Thank you, Horace. And finally, on Friday, May 1st, the full pitched pilot of Phantom Hollow will feature on this channel, with character and sound designs by Kuro. What is Phantom Hollow, you may ask? Check the description down below for a link to a special page on our website that breaks down the science fantasy animated project. And on that same night, Chapter 9 of 5 Years Later will be released on our website worldwide. We hope you guys are as excited as we are to reveal some of our long-kept secrets. Now, let's jump back into the stream. Back to you, live version of Ash. You said it with the mic muted. Thank you, pre-recorded version. Too. Okay, there we go. Hold on. All right, everything should be broadcasting now. There we go. Thank you, pre-recorded version of Ash.
Thank you.
Yeah, you said it. Oh, it worked. Yay, cool.
I'm glad everything worked out.
So, just want to say real quick, thank you for everybody who did send in a video. Editing that was incredibly challenging because I got so many videos. I tried to use as many as I can, and even then we had to trim down the videos that we did get used just because there were so many. But yeah, all of the videos will be uploaded on the Rust Bucket. As for the raffle, so the program we have that we usually figure out our raffles with updated, and now we don't know how to use it anymore. So if you donated for the raffle, we didn't get any notification. As you probably seen, we didn't stop and shout anybody out this whole time. So if you did donate for the raffle, please send a screenshot as proof that you did. We're not going to make you pay again, to my email, rob.orpilla, or Pilla, I'm going to put that in the chat too, at yahoo.com. And then we're going to do the raffle after the stream, and I'll announce it like in Discord, on Twitter and everything. So yeah, sorry we won't be able to announce the winner of the raffle on this stream, but if you did donate, your money didn't just go anywhere. Before we wrap up, now that we still got Kellen here, if you do want to do some voices for us,
Before we say
yeah, I've been looking at the chat for all of the time that I've not all of it, but like intermittently, and there are some people who want voice requests. So if you've ever wanted to hear Funtime Freddy or Overhaul or Fiddlesticks or I'm not allowed to say his name, but if somebody went by the name Diavolo, he would probably be voiced by a cool guy. So if you want anything from those guys, let us know in the chat, and we will pick out our favorites, boys?
I have one for you.
Yeah, start it off. Go ahead.
Because I'm a geek, I'm sorry. As Chisaki, Overhaul, can you say hero time? What is that, a catchphrase or something?
Oh my god, okay. Hero time. What is that, a catchphrase or something?
Oh my god!
I love it. Your whole presence changes when you switch into these voices too.
It's not just the voice. It's got to be the whole character, or else it's not convincing.
Oh god, that was.
Oh god,
that
was
freaking
great.
Out a little bit. That was
strange. That was so good.
That was really cool.
There's a couple people who say it's lagging or they lost.
Yeah, I hear it a little bit.
Dang.
I'll do it
I
one
don't
more
want to be
time.
rude, but I personally only hear it on your microphone, so I don't think there's anything I can do on my end. It sounds like it's a connection issue though, so I don't exactly know how we can solve it. But from what I can tell, you're at least still audible. It's just a little bit prickly.
Grainy.
Yeah. But, I mean,
here, let me try restart. Restarting Discord does it sometimes.
Right.
Let me try that. Be right back.
Well, while the professional voice actor is fixing his mic, anyone got stupid voice impressions for me to do? People normally do on streams.
Can you do an impression of me?
Do an impression of Kuro.
I know there's one video that I sounded like you by accident.
Impression
of Kuro. Oh, never mind. He's back.
Does this sound better?
Oh wow!
Yes,
yeah. You
much.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, cool. Let me say it one more time. Hero time. What is that? A catchphrase or something?
Oh god.
Oh god! I got
someone make a
goosebumps.
clip of it. Someone make a clip of it, please.
That was so good. That was so good.
Oh god.
I like you need a cure better.
Oh.
Oh god.
Oh. I saw one commented by Lachlan Harrison. He says, as Overhaul, can you say, going ghost? When I'm done with you, you're going to be a ghost permanently.
Okay. Going ghost, huh? When I'm done with you, you're going to be a ghost permanently.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ. So awesome.
Oh.
Sweet, dude. No, I was geeking out the whole time beforehand. You guys deserve a little bit.
Thank you.
Not really a request, but what would you say is one of the weirdest lines you've had to say as any of your characters?
Oh my god. Okay, recently I played he's just called the Devil, but he's like a main antagonist in Black Clover. And his thing is word magic. Whatever he says happens. So we had to speak this weird Japanese old language, but like it was still gibberish and it didn't mean anything in any language, and it was like the longest words ever of just gibberish. And that's fine if you try doing that to lip flaps and then you call me and say your job is hard.
Oh yeah, it's funny. My next question was like, are you sitting there looking at a monitor trying to match the flaps as you're doing anime dubs?
Mm-hmm. So what happened, you have two monitors. You have a microphone in front of you, so you sort of have to look through the pop filter. But then you have two screens. One has the script on it and how long you have to say it and blah, blah, blah. And the other has the footage on it, and they'll play it, and it'll lead in with 3 beeps, and then you start on where the 4th beep should be. So it'll go deet, 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 and then you start talking. And that's how we do it. Sometimes it depends on the studio, but we'll either do it like that line by line or scene by scene. and that's pretty much how we do it.
Sounds super tedious, but I mean, you're obviously good at it.
It's something to practice. The people who do fan dubs are ahead of the curve, believe it or not.
Jeez.
Yeah.
We got another. We got KV Acid. I never pronounce your name right. I'm sorry, but you're on most of my streams. We have KV asking, can you do Funtime Freddy saying, "I am the box ghost"?
Okay.
Wait, is it KV Avocado?
There we go. There we go.
It's not really, but that's what I read when I
okay.
Hey, Bon Bon, I am the box ghost.
Nice. He's got this. He's always had this robotic cadence about him where all he has to do is just really pronounce the words. But I guess it is some kind of acting. And
He's very articulated with his words.
yeah, no kidding. I think it's because he's talking to children.
Let me see. Have Overhaul be scared of Funtime Freddy surprising him?
Overall doesn't get scared.
Oh, well,
wait.
Sorry, guys.
He can. Okay, hold on. Here's Overhaul getting surprised by Funtime Freddy scaring him.
Oh god.
There you go.
Perfect. Perfect. I love it.
That's what they asked for.
Salva Shark asks, Kellen, try to do the voice of an alien of your own choice.
Oh man.
We're getting into impression areas, man. You're going up on my game now.
There's one line I remember from Accelerate.
I wanted Ripjaws, not Accelerate, stupid watch.
Remember in the beginning?
Holy crap, that was great.
That sounded just like him. Hello?
Oh my god. Accelerate.
Yeah. And
that
was good.
I have a request. Can you do Ghost Freak?
Oh my god, yeah, I can actually. What does he say?
Oh god, I'm trying to remember. It's from the one where he comes out of the watch for the first time. It's
You look like you've just seen a ghost freak.
Oh, okay.
Was that it?
Okay.
You look like you've seen a ghost, freak.
Crap, man, you're just better than mine.
Okay, you know what? Since they're doing Ghost Freak, I actually went. How open are you to actually doing the new fiddlestick?
The fiddlesticks? I can do that.
Okay, so my favorite champion.
I can't do it for very long.
Oh no, it shouldn't be that long. It's not that long. But yeah, so I noticed one thing Fiddlesticks does is he says things like that people had said while they were dying. So I want to pick something from what Rakan was saying. And it's funny because he has a line where he says, "I'm gonna live forever."
Yeah.
Do you think you can say that? I'm gonna live forever.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to live forever.
Oh God!
Perfect.
Oh,
thank you so much, man.
Whichever. I don't
yes, you did. Nice.
I'm going to live forever.
That's how we did it in this.
That is terrifying.
That is amazing.
It's all breathing.
We got time for 2 more, and then we're gonna bring this stream to an end.
Ooh, I can
actually announce the winner. Actually, after you guys finish that, I do have the 2 winners. I can't announce them.
Wait, you figured out?
Yeah, I figured it out.
Oh crap! I got people emailing me.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to talk to you.
That's awesome. Then we should do it right here.
Rain Man, dang.
Yeah, you need to turn notifications back on Discord.
All right. Well, thank you guys who emailed me. Just in case. But Hershey's got it. All right. Yeah, let's get 2 more. Announce the winners, and then
There's a couple people who want me to do Wild Mutt. I'm going to see if I can.
Oh God! Holy crap!
That was good,
dude.
That was awesome.
That's crazy.
He had that
deep
processing, but
I always felt like that they put a lot of vocal effects on in the original series. And then in Ultimate Alien, when Wild Mutt shows up, there's no vocal effects on Wild Mutt, and you can tell. And he sounds like very Scooby-Doo like, but then they bring him back.
Yeah, he does. Well, also he hadn't done it in a long time.
Yeah,
that's true.
But yes,
I have one from Tom. That's
this will be
saying
the last one.
Oh,
See, this is a Horace one, so it's fine.
It's Tom is saying, can you say Horace's catchphrase as overhaul? So that's the
Good evening, extranet and multidimensional travelers. Welcome back to And Beyond, where we plunge into the void and explore ever-expanding multiverse.
I can get you a script.
Yeah, I'll remember all that.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I memorize lines.
I started remembering it as I was saying. I was like, oh wait, this is long. Crap.
Just say,
I'm sorry.
just say the
muscle
first part.
memory.
Yeah, just the
Good evening. What was it?
extranet.
Good evening,
type it?
extranet.
and multidimensional travelers.
Good evening, what?
Extranet and multi-dimensional travelers.
All right. Good evening, extranet and multi. No, I'm sorry, I need it in front of me.
I'll type it out. I know it from memory.
It's too much. I can't act and remember at the same time. That's my downfall. It's a lot.
No, it can be pretty hard.
I've gotten spoiled. I've gotten used to having this.
Oh, Froze already typed it.
Thanks. Good evening, extranet and multidimensional travelers. This is Overhaul. What was the name of your character?
Horace.
Horace can't come to the phone right now. He's currently a bit
Please help me, please. Help me.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut!
Just destroy me already. They already do it at the end of
No,
episodes.
shut! No! Shut!
That was
This is the best Friday
Someone make a
ever.
clip of that and I'll animate it.
All right, that was a good ending.
Sweet.
Oh,
I'm throwing the posters back up on the stream now. Just want to
Yes,
say
we're
again,
gonna
these
announce the
are
winners.
fantastic, but they will only get even better.
Yes,
as, Ash finishes them up. There's gonna be more characters and whatnot, but yeah. So first winner, Hershey, could you give us the first winner?
all right. For the first one, give me one moment.
You have to do it like a game show announcer.
I have to do it like a game show announcer. Drum, please. Our first winner for the very first poster, and again, between one of them will be a user going by the name of Plates. We have your email address, Plates. Really, thank you so much for donating and participating in that raffle. You have won. You will have the first pick of the litter. So there you go. Congratulations.
Nice. Congrats.
And now for the second winner, who, even though it is technically will be leftovers, it's Ash leftovers. That's amazing. Like, it's going to be a pretty great poster. Our second winner would be Raspberry Jam.
Hey,
nice.
That's actually a familiar name. So
Very
congratulations to you, Raspberry Jam. Thank you so much for donating. They actually
Congratulations.
like 3 entries, so that's that edge you got, and you paid for it and you won it. So there you go, man. Enjoy your poster. So there you go. Thank you so much to everyone who donated and participated. We will like to try to do things like this more often. If you guys have any poster ideas, merch ideas, just shoot us messages. Let us know.
DM them directly to me and I'll get working.
Yeah, or you can DM directly to him and he'll get working. So
Which
thank you
these
so
two
much.
posters as well will be up on the store once I completely finish them. So be ready for that too.
All right. And with that, the stream's over. I had a lot of fun here today. So this
I had a
was
blast.
awesome. 100% success. Thank you so much, all you guys, for coming through, especially you, Kellen. Really appreciate it. You're a lot of fun.
Yeah, these are fun. You guys are just really cool to joke around with.
No, man, this has been a
It was
great
a lot of
time,
fun.
honestly. This whole stream has been great. We got the fan
It's
videos.
been amazing.
We got some great conversation. I'm really proud of everything that came out of this stream, everything out of 5 years later, and the community. And you know, it's just, it's hard to put it into words without sounding cliche, but this really wasn't possible without any of you guys. So thank you. And
viewers like you.
For viewers like you, absolutely.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's the 5YL 3-year anniversary stream. Hope you guys enjoyed and look forward to that collection of content coming at the end of April. 5YL Chapter 9 drops this May 1st. And as always, keep it fizzy.